What is up, Internet? It's your guy JG, publisher and or, as you may know, on the show. I am the Commodore of AuburnSports.com, the Auburn stop on the Rivals Superhighway of Knowledge. I am glad to have you on the show tonight on tonight's Brain Drain. I decided to leave the Pat Dye tribute up there on the front page because, well, first of all, he's a Titan. Even though he passed away a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks now, just thought I'd leave that up there a little bit longer. I'm sure that you guys don't have a problem with that because he's such a badass and really kind of sets the tone for how a badass dies, really, right? I mean, he just goes and under a tree in his property and he fertilizes a tree that he actually really, really gave a shit about. Like, to me, that's like the most boss move that you could ever have. In addition to being a terrific coach and a huge supporter of Auburn for all the time after he left. And a funny dude who could tell stories like no other and just a total badass. What are you all doing? Guys, it's 7:34 in the Central Time Zone, 8:34 in the Eastern Time Zone. On tap tonight, a lot of our usual enjoyments. We are going to have Allie D on, Allie Davison, no D in the middle. She's going to be on the show tonight around the 8 o'clock Eastern hour. Well, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern hour. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. We tried to get her on last week, but it was kind of a last-minute thing, and she texted me back on Sunday and said, sorry. So, yeah. We weren't able to get her going last week, but we are going to get her this time, and if you guys follow her on Twitter, you know that she is still all Auburn. And I'm sure she has some opinions on things that have been going on around Auburn, just different stuff. So, love to have Allie on occasionally. We love Allie. Allie was our first intern. Me and Hoke hired her as a freshman when she was a freshman in college, and now she's like I don't know, she probably graduated 4 or 5 years ago now, so it's been a while. And she turned out really good. She's really, really good. You know, the first intern, she did a good job. You know, Nate's done an incredible job too, young Nate, and maybe we'll have him on the show tonight. But he's really hard to get a hold of on the texts, so I don't know if we'll have him or not. And maybe we'll work on that if you guys really want to. Tonight's beverage, we got a special one tonight because I didn't even know specifically about this particular beverage until yesterday. We have a member of the site, and I don't think he wants me to use his handle, so I would just say Michael M. And he lives out in California. And he has been supportive of me behind the scenes a few times. And he's also sent me some bourbon from a distillery, the only distillery I believe they have in California, the Blinking Owl. We drank that maybe 2 months ago on the show. Out of nowhere comes another box on Friday. And inside of that box is the highly coveted Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 2 bourbon right here. You know it's a great day when folks just send you delicious, beautiful-looking alcohol like this. I mean, this, guys, seriously, this is a great bottle. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's just kind of looks like a corn stalk behind it. It kind of shines through, and you can see it better on the backside. Like when you're looking at it straight up, you can see it. Really kick-ass. We drove by this distillery. It's brand new. I mean, it's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old. It's right there on the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, and we were like, oh, that place looks badass, and then we didn't stop because we were on our way to Lexington at the time. But I am super enthusiastic about getting a hold of this one because this is not available on ABC, at least not that I've seen here in the state of Alabama. And I mean, I've heard about this, I've read about this, just kind of in passing on some of the whiskey review sites. But I mean, I never thought I'd have a chance to drink something like this, and yet here it is. I'm having a little difficulty getting this thing undone. Let's see. Leif Beast is Bardstown Bourbon Company is a beautiful new distillery. It looks, very modern. It is. I mean, Leif, you would probably know as much as I would. It's one of the best looking distilleries I've ever seen. Like, it just looks super, super good. Like somebody with a lot of money and who really wanted to do a good job put that bad boy together. And Man, this not that it matters, but this top is really heavy. This is some real stuff here. Anyway, to give you guys an idea, because this company's pretty new, so they had to blend it. It's 44% 10-year-old Kentucky whiskey. It's 39% 12-year-old Kentucky whiskey, and it's 17% 14-year-old Kentucky whiskey, with slightly different mash bills on each one of them. And this is again the number 2 in the Discovery series. Cannot freaking wait for this one. And I mean, I got to give it up for Michael. Would not have this without your intervention, sir. So thank you. All right, guys. Wow. Okay. Definitely a higher proof than I'm used to. 122 proof. But it doesn't hit nearly as hard as that larceny hit me. I don't remember what that was. You guys remember what that was? Maybe that was 130 or something. That's got a good burn on it. It's just good. It's reminiscent from. It's just good. That's really good. I can't really say what it tastes like though. Not Magnus. Gonna have to have some more. I think that's the only way to solve this issue. Absolutely. Let's see. Leif says one of the Rick houses has a huge window in it. Canoe Man says it screams private equity money being behind it. That's absolutely possible. But it's pretty damn good, you guys. Maybe it could be like some of that Knob Creek. You know, the older Knob Creek, which I would never open, but look, this bad boy right here. This is it's a 15-year Knob Creek. This is the Auburn Final Four version, which I don't think I would ever open unless they go there again, which could happen. I mean, you know, things happen. I wouldn't put it past BP. I'm going to take another shot of this to kind of see what I think about it. It's good, man. No, Corny says it's a bad face. I'm just kind of taking it in, man. That's good. I mean, considering it's really high proof, it does not punch you in the face. It's kind of a soft burn. I think you guys would really like that. Honestly, that's one of the better ones I've ever had. I just kind of, Buffalo Trace to me, like, when I hit Blanton's or whatever, that's really good. This is on par with that, though, honestly. Just a little hotter. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking with me while I drank that. Just giving me a little second there. I do want to mention before we get started, our guy, Honk, if you coached at Bama, I guess he was trying to say on the bunker that I was really rustled. I had told you guys I was going to be a little bit late coming to the show tonight. And he was like, what show are you talking about? I have no idea what you're even talking about. And I was like, come on, man. We do this like during basketball season, we're doing it twice a week. And then ever since then, we've done it once a week. And it's on the bunker every Saturday night. It says Brain Drain. Yo, yo, yo. And he's like, I answered him like, hey, we've been doing this every Saturday for like whatever, 5 months. So we made it without you and we'll continue to make it without you. You were not missed. Peace. And he's like, wow, I rustled the hell out of you, JG. LOL. I'm like, oh, I'm dying here, man. Absolutely killing me. I don't even know how I'm going to do a show tonight. Oh, man. Let's see what else we got. Leif says high proof is usually smoother. It was until I had that larceny full proof. Good God. It would be my pleasure to give you the rest of that bottle because that's a drain pour for me, Leif. Not that you in these COVID era would want my whatever 90% bottle, but I'd be happy to give it to you. Daniel P says that's just his face. Don't be mean. My man. Oh my man. Glad to have you back, bro. So glad to have you back. What else we got going on? It was kind of a slow week on the Auburn front. We had a lot going on the week before, obviously with Coach Dye passing away, and then football kind of gearing up, getting the testing, the physicals. They had to send 3 kids to quarantine, et cetera, et cetera. But you got that going. It was a good calm, serene week. I'm still trying to see if there were any positive tests for basketball when they came back. Now that's a much smaller population, so I don't know what to expect there. They could say 2 or 3, or they could say 0, and I wouldn't really think much of it. But I haven't gotten any confirmation on that yet. So I think they tested kids. The kids came back Wednesday or Thursday. I think they tested Friday, and then they either got results today or maybe a few tomorrow. I don't know. And then the plan there is to get back going with the voluntary workouts on Monday morning. So that would be great. That way you got football, men's basketball going. And then I think your next sport is, I don't think it's going to be women's basketball. I think it's something else. I forget what it was going to be. But, I mean, if it's not BP or Gus and the boys, you're probably not caring as much. Let's just be real about it. We got a question. Let's see. KCC says, JGT, thanks for continuing to do these. Of course, man. I'm here for you guys. You're only 8 Chickalobe Ultras deep, man. I love that. I think you referred to it as that last week, too. It's the first time I'd ever heard that. It's hilarious. Says he's had 8 Chickalobe Ultras. Should make it through a slow night. Is it beer before liquor? I passed out last week. Oh, Outlaw 7, of course. Let's see. Beer before liquor, never sicker, right? I don't buy that, though. As long as you stay hydrated, you're going to be okay. Unless you're drinking Jägermeister or the tequila. In that case, you're on your own. I'm never going to tell you to drink those. You should never do that. Daniel P. says, Bruce said COVID is not allowed on his team. Well, in that case, COVID has got no shot. Oh, man. Again, a pretty slow week on the Auburn front. Did have some young men, Tanner Burns, go in the first round of the MLB draft. That's 2 now in 3 years, because Casey Mize went first overall in the 2018 draft to the Detroit Tigers. And Tanner goes to Cleveland Indians. He was like a supplemental, what they used to call sandwich pick, first round pick, 36th overall to the Cleveland Indians, which is a great pitching organization. That's got to be really encouraging for him. No doubt. Also, had another young man go in the 5th round. Is that right? Bailey Horn went the 5th round. There was also some thought that a couple other kids might have snuck in there, and it did not happen. Cody Greenwell is going to come back and stretch out and be a starter next year. And then Steven Williams, an outfielder, there was some thought that he might get picked as well, and then he didn't. So they're going to be coming back. Also, you guys don't really care, but from my town, actually my high school that my daughter went to, a kid named Parker Chavers, who now plays at Coastal Carolina. I love seeing Montgomery kids do well. There was some thought that he might get drafted, even though he didn't play last season because he had hurt his shoulder. But he didn't get drafted. So he'll come back to Coastal, and I bet he'll be an absolute beast. And I hope he goes in the first round and makes $1 million. I'd be really fired up about that. Pocket Watch says, when can we get a breakdown of Coach Flo's Lady Tigers? Probably going to need one, bro, because that team has turned over a bunch. Canoe Man says, I think Bardstown does something for them, talking about Bardstown Bourbon Company. No, they do not own it. Could be wrong. There's a lot of bourbon going on in Bardstown because, I mean, obviously you've got this company. The Larceny, that's a Heaven Hill product, which is in Bardstown as well. The Ezra Brooks is right across the highway from Bardstown Bourbon Company, right there on the Bluegrass Parkway. And then you've got 1792 is there. Willett is there. There's another major one I'm just missing. This is all in Nelson County, Kentucky. Shoot. Forgot what it was. And then you've got Maker's Mark is in Loretto, Kentucky, which is Marion County, one county over. And then just a little bit further up the road, you've got Four Roses, which is in Lawrenceburg, which I believe is Woodford County, in the same county where Woodford Reserve is made. So lots of great bourbon right there in that area. That's kind of the reason I was hoping a little bit that my daughter would go to school there in Lexington. because then I could just kind of slide up and stop by those places on my way to or from to see her. But man, with the COVID as it is, and the way that education I think is going to be affected in the fall and probably the spring too, I'm just glad she's closer to home. So we'll just have to go up there on our own sometime. William T in the house says, "Hey Jay, it's been a while. We're glad to have you here, sir. Thank you very much." Let's see. Leif B says, "I asked someone once what a certain label was, and they said, 'Oh, it's just wild turkey.'" That's like that's definitely a larceny. The Russell's Reserve, I think, is also wild turkey. I had some of that last night watching the movie Ad Astra, starring Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones. Those of you who have seen it, maybe you guys are really fired up about it. It didn't do much for me. And I'm somebody who kind of likes 2001: A Space Odyssey and shit, but it's in a similar vein. I thought it was kind of like, hey, let's do a movie that's kind of like 2001 and kind of like Apocalypse Now, and then Brad Pitt. And to me, it just didn't quite click. But Leif says, Bardstown's a weird place. There's a podcast about they have 4 mysterious murders in the past decade. I had no idea. I did not know that. It's funny. I went to school about 40 miles from Bardstown, and I didn't know anybody from Bardstown. Like, none of the Bardstown kids ever went to my school. And I knew people from all over Kentucky. I never knew anybody from Nelson County. Still don't. Not that I would meet anybody new now that I live in Montgomery County, Alabama. But speaking of weird places with weird murders, I don't know if you guys ever read about it, but the murders in Columbus, Mississippi, I found this very interesting. It's been a minute since that all went down, but there was a string of murders that happened in a fairly tight period of time in Columbus, Mississippi. It's probably been 20 years now, maybe longer, maybe 25 years. And they were never solved. I don't feel like they even got close. I mean, I don't think they were like, hey, we've got a person of interest. It was just absolutely, we have no idea what's going on here. It was all a bunch of old women. Strange. It's weird how things like that happen. Canoe Man says, Ad Astra is different, fairly boring. Fairly boring. You're being nice there. I mean, I expected it to be slow. I knew that it was going to be kind of slow, but even then, it just kind of, man, I'm not trying to spoil it because it's a possibility that you might see it, but like the last third of that movie just didn't do much for me. I thought it was silly. Not like stupid silly, just not interesting silly. Now we're talking about some other bourbon brands in the chat. AU Taxman says it's Castle and Key near Bardstown. Leif says he thinks it's in Frankfurt. Frankfurt also, if you had to pick one city though, I would take Frankfurt, because if you take Frankfurt, you get Buffalo Trace, which means you get Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, you get Colonel E.H. Taylor, you get Weller. Boom! You got all those in one fell swoop. It's good stuff there. Corny Mofo says he's made a mistake. He's drinking Hornitos again. Uh-oh. Didn't finish the drain last week, but I will endeavor to persevere. Corny, you've got that Nevada spirit, brother. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Canoe Man was asking Leif about the podcast that he had mentioned about the murders, mysterious murders in Bardstown, and Leif reports back that the podcast had a very creative name, Bardstown. All right. So now that we're talking about lots of bourbon, we love doing that on this show because I love drinking bourbon myself. I'm drinking bourbon tonight, in fact. Again, for those of you who've tuned in a little bit late, and I was a little bit late, so I certainly wouldn't hate on you for being late. I'm drinking the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 2. It is Muy Delicioso. This was sent to me by a trusted member of the community, Michael M., from Greater Los Angeles. I'll just leave it at that. And he has gone so far out of his way to hook me up, both with bourbon and just kind of being supportive as well. So, here's to you, bro. Thank you. Man. It's good, though. It's good. Daniel P. says, we hate bourbon. Don't lie, Jay. We just pretend to like it. Who says that? Just kidding. We were just kidding. Leif B says we need to have a brain drain bourbon trail trip. You know what, dude? Actually, I was supposed to go on a trip in April or May with my man JB from Washington D.C., one of my very best friends. His Christmas gift from his lovely wife Crystal was that he was going to go. Oh, get back up, big boy. He was going to go on a bourbon trip with the boys. And that was going to be me and his friend Damon and maybe a couple other dudes I know. We were just kind of roll around wherever in Kentucky and just hit it. I think the effort was going to be Louisville and Bardstown, but because in Louisville you get Michter's, you get Old Forester. Come on, Leif. What am I forgetting? There's other stuff in Louisville as well. Those are the two I drink most from Louisville. Dadgummit, I know I'm missing a big one. Pachuta's in the house. Local here to Franklin, Tennessee. Auburn guy started. I had no idea. It's really cool. Pachuta is one of our. I was wondering if any of the Warzone Call of Duty guys were going to be on here. Pachuta, I played with him a few times. Friend of Cardea. And love playing with you guys. This afternoon, I decided I was going to jump on for a few hours. You guys usually aren't on in the daytime, which is cool. You guys are doing whatever you're doing. You have a better life than I do, I'm sure. And I was playing with some randoms. And I'm playing duos with randoms. And you never know what you're going to get. And the best game I had was with a kid that I swear he couldn't have been more than 12. I mean, he had like the squeaker voice. You know, he sounded like he was high on helium. And I felt creepy just even like being on a team with a kid that young, you know. But I was just trying to be real cool, no cussing. Normally I would just say something like, yo, go get that shit, you know. But I was like, hey, go get that stuff. Just trying to be really nice. He's actually a pretty decent little player. One of the sad things about randoms, though, is that, you know, when the game ends, you're just done. You can't tell them, good job. I mean, if they sucked, you don't want to tell them that. But if they're good, you want to be like, hey, man, appreciate you buying me back or whatever. Didn't happen, though. Anyway, back to the trip we were going to do, Bardstown and Louisville, got wrecked because of COVID, unfortunately. Angel's Envy. Thank you, sir. Angel's Envy. I was about to kill that bottle last night. My wife goes, it's such a pretty bottle. Can you just weave it? I was like, okay. Leif says he heard that all the Louisville distilleries are boarded up right now because of the protests. It's weird. Louisville's not a small town by any stretch, but you don't think of it as one of the big metropolitan spots in the country. But they have been very active with their protesting because one of the main characters, I guess, in this story that's unfolding is Breonna Taylor, who is an EMT actually in Louisville, who was shot dead after a no-knock search warrant, I should say. And depending on who you listen to in that, she either had absolutely no reason to be in trouble or very, very little reason to be in trouble. I'm not trying to turn this into that podcast at all, or this show. Just saying. That all went down in Louisville, and that's why people there are particularly affected by it. Then, like the third night of protests, the police shot into a crowd and hit a very popular West Side cook who ran basically like a soup kitchen, nicer than a soup kitchen. You know, he was endeavoring to feed the hungry, you know, and he had real skill. It wasn't like a dude that was like opening up, you know, something and pouring in a pan. He was a real chef, and unfortunately, he got killed. And the weird part of that story is that he was someone who really liked cops and fed cops and actively told cops, hey, if you're on a shift or if you're not on a shift, come by here and we'll feed you. And so, I mean, the guy's a champion of law enforcement, and then he gets killed by law enforcement. And he was just in a crowd, you know. Corny says, playing duos with randoms. I'm not that drunk yet. Oh, man. Look, man, I didn't love it. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of fun. You never know who you're going to get. I got some other dudes that were, you know. It seems to me like the younger the player, the more they just talk. Like they just randomly. Like I had played with a guy today. We should have won the game. I got killed, so it's my fault that I wasn't there to finish this. But we were in the final circle, and all he had to do was jump from a very high. We were in downtown, from a very high building to a fairly high building, And all he's got to do is just jump down, land on that, and just sit because he's still in a building and everybody else is low. So he's going to be above them. He has the higher ground. The circle is probably 25 feet across. So he's just going to hold. Just stay there. You could just lay down if you want to. And when he parachuted down, he missed the rooftop. And he landed in between two guys, and they both killed him. And I'm just like, dude, that's life as a random. Let's see. Pachuta said not for lack of wanting to be playing Call of Duty this afternoon, but his little ones had a pool party. Sweet. A pool party. See, now the first thing that comes into my mind when I hear little one's pool party is I don't know if the moms would be by there. There's some cute moms. I hope so. You'd think so. Louisville. Oh yes, Leif B says the Louisville Slugger Museum is downtown and it's a fun trip. Absolutely, the Louisville Slugger Museum is awesome, and it's basically across the street from Old Forester. There's a lot to do down in downtown Louisville. It's weird because when I first started dating my wife in the early '90s, she was from Louisville and we were looking for shit to do, and we would go downtown. Because there were a couple places I liked eating down there, Bear Nose by the Bridge or whatever. It's really wasn't much to do. And now here we are 25 years later, and in downtown Louisville is awesome. There's a lot going on. I don't mean that I know at this point they're doing some demonstrations and stuff, but I'm saying in general. Pachuta says, smoke show moms, those are the best kind. Smoke show moms are the best kind. They really are. I used to love pool parties. Unfortunately, my daughter's 18 now, so I don't get to do those anymore, but you can just see pretty girls and not have to worry about you don't have to put up with them, you know? You don't have to put up the downside. Of course, you could argue there's not a lot of upside either, but I don't, just, whatever. The lack of downside is the upside. Yeah. Let's see. Not only Breonna Taylor, but also the National Guard killed a guy outside his restaurant. Ugh. Yeah, Louisville's been bad. It's just kind of a weird place for it to be bad, but it's bad. I don't know if there's been a ton of looting there. I feel like my friends from Louisville, I have a lot of friends in Louisville. I feel like I would have heard about it if, they were just tearing shit up. But I don't think they have. I think it's been I think the demonstrators have been pretty much on point there. It's a weird time to be an American, man. It's a weird time right now. I always kind of thought growing up, I was born in 72. And so when I start getting cognitive, so to speak, in about 82, I start realizing, how the world works and shit. Like, the 60s and everything that went down as far as counterculture and then race relations. There was a lot going on in the 60s, but I was kind of thought, man, I wonder if it would have been cool growing up in the 60s. And I would ask my parents. My dad was a total nerd, so he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't even listen to him very much. And then my mom, who was a pretty cool chick actually, but she was in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, so she was just kind of like, it was pretty cool, I didn't get to hear any radical stories. My parents weren't radicals at all. Canoe Man seems to be counting down the hours, or I should say the minutes, until Allie D comes on. And since it is now 8 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, 9 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone, we are going to fire up that Skype. Skype. And we're going to get on the horn with Allie D. If you guys have questions for Allie D, I'm sure you guys do. I'd be happy to field them in the chat. Let's see. There was a tweet that had popped up here on my phone. I just want to tell you guys about. Oh, Brian had retweeted it. So my friend Josh Wetzel. Josh works. He's kind of like a social media czar, I guess, for Auburn athletics. So a lot of times the tweets that you see, with the exception of Malzahn, who I think Malzahn and Kirk handle that, but a lot of the stuff that the informative, cutesy, entertaining stuff that comes through the Auburn athletics, that a lot of that goes through Wetzel. Wetzel is a veteran. Wetzel lost his legs due to an improvised bomb in the Middle East, and fortunately he made it. But he has like titanium legs, and he is really funny about it. He's very humorous about it, and he is just a hilarious dude. Anyway, the reason I bring him up is that he and his wife Paige have a book out, or they're putting a book out called Beautifully Broken. You can check him out on the Twitters at Joshua W. Wetzel. And they're taking pre-orders for their book, and they've got a really cool picture of him and his wife Paige wrapped in an American flag. He was at Walter Reed, actually, when he came back from the Middle East, still kind of getting over his very serious injuries. And he has a really cool portrait of him and his wife, and Michelle and Barack Obama praying while he's in bed is, yeah. I don't even want to start talking about that. It gets me upset. But just knowing Josh, man, and I make fun of him a lot because he's a fun guy to kind of talk shit to. But I love the guy, and he does a great job for Auburn. He represents Auburn in a really, really awesome way. And so if you guys are interested or moved by that, I urge you to check that out and pre-order the book if you're into that kind of thing. If you're not, I mean, that's cool too. Just thought I would tell you that. Okay, Allie D. We've actually got Sir Hiss coming in. I want to take this call because I haven't talked to Sir Hiss in a while. Sir Hiss.
What's up,
word?
Sir? How you been?
Well, I've been good. I've not seen you as much lately. What's going on?
Man, no sports, so haven't been as inclined to post on the board.
Shit, man, I hate hearing that.
Yeah, I'm ready for some sports to start kicking up again. How you been?
Well, you are the original Mr. Piss and Vinegar, so I mean, I miss you personally, but sometimes your tenor can be a little pissy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just speak too much truth to those that don't want to hear it.
We've got a lot of truth speakers, honestly. Anyway, you're missed, brother. I wish you would come and post a little bit more. I think we're about to get started back up with some legitimate sports, though. So, I mean, there was golf today. NBA's about to start back up. We got a lot of soccer. Football's practicing. I mean, it feels like we're getting back going, you know?
Yeah, the soccer started up. I finally had something to bet on again.
Do you know?
Didn't do too well today.
Do you know enough to bet on soccer?
Nah, I just bet unders.
Were you betting in the Bundesliga?
Yep.
Yeah.
The German league.
Yeah, that was it. The Dusseldorf game. You would, if you bet under on Dusseldorf game, that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy while no sports going on? I mean, I know you've been active on the board, but nothing really with sports going on.
Yeah.
So what's been going on in your life?
Just been piddling around with this show, and I've been moderating more. I've been on the board more than I ever have, and I still talk to people. All the people that I normally talk to, I still talk to them. They just don't give me much because there's not much going on. But just keeping up the relationship so that when it's time to go in August, we're still right back where we were. So that's about the best I can tell you right there.
Yeah, I hear you. What are your thoughts on crowds at Jordan-Hare Stadium come September 1st, or I guess the kickoff weekend?
Yeah. Well, my thought was that it would be between 20 and 30,000, but the intel that I got, the most recent intel I got, was that it was going to be a smaller number than that. That there's been chatter.
Really?
There's been chatter that it's going to be more like 10 to 15,000 inside Jordan-Hare Stadium, and that's going to be a real problem because there's a lot of annual ticket holders, way more than 10 or 15,000. So there's going to be a lot of people that would feel left out in that situation. And I think a lot of people want to go, Sir Hiss. You know what I mean? I'm not particularly scared of the virus myself. So.
Well, that's my thing. I'm just sitting here thinking. I was talking to some friends today at brunch about, I had some friends that moved closer to Auburn, Alabama during this whole thing. They worked out on the West Coast and they moved back, and they were all worried about not being able to go to see the Auburn Tigers play for the first time since they graduated. And I'm here confident that they'll at least be able to tailgate outside the stadium. I mean, what do you think? What are the tailgate guys? What's their scene? What's their thoughts?
My guess is that Auburn's going to make them stop. That Auburn's going to withhold tailgate guys this year. I mean, I don't know that, but I don't see how they're going to be. They're going to put 15,000 people in Jordan-Hare Stadium because they can't put more than that, and then tell everybody to just open season on tailgating and get really close to each other. I mean, I typically tailgate behind the outfield wall outside of Plainsman Park, so it's a tailgate guy's heavy location. And, man, it is super, super thick in that area, and I don't see how we can social distance in that area. Now, again, I'm not super scared about this virus, and I doubt you are either. So maybe we can just kind of blow through that a little bit with masks or whatever, but I don't know. I can't see Auburn, advocating for that, just being like, hey, we can put 5,000 people in that small space, no problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the people that are finally getting back that haven't seen Auburn and since my graduating years, probably 7 years ago. So, I mean, it kind of breaks my heart for those people. Yeah. But I'll leave you with one thing. What do you? I saw your bottle you were touting tonight. Somebody sent you. What are you drinking tonight?
Yeah, it's this Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 2. Listen, man, I live in Alabama. I've never seen this. I have seen this distillery on the highway when I was on my way to Lexington, but this is a pretty tough bourbon to come by. And Michael M., who sent it to me in the mail, he's a hero for doing that. So that's what I'm drinking tonight, sir.
Well,
His.
well, I'm drinking I don't know if you're familiar with it, but a Benny's package up in Chicago. They're pretty well. They've got some pretty good guys that pick their barrels for them. So don't know if you're very familiar with it, but I just finished off or just poured the last glass of the last bit of a bottle out of a Benny's. So
It's actually, that's the name of the bourbon, is Benny's?
no, it's Elijah Craig, but
It's their pick.
They're known for their store picks.
Cool, man. I'll have to look that up. Sounds delicious,
So,
though. I
next
love
time you're
Elijah
in
Craig.
Chicago, go get you one.
Are you up that way? Or are you actually in Alabama and you just got it from Chicago?
No, I live in Buckhead.
Oh, word. You're Georgia. Okay. Very
Yeah,
good, Sir Hiss.
So I'm right here. I'm in the midst of the riot. I'm trying to stay safe.
Okay. Is it actually in Buckhead? No shit.
Well, I mean, they were rioting in Buckhead. I mean, they broke out the glass. They looted the stores at the shops at Buckhead, which is pretty much. I mean, it might as well be the Rodeo Drive of the South is what they were trying to go for when they built the thing. So
Yeah. I think we're all kind of down on the looting.
as unfortunate as that is,
Yeah.
hurting people that have nothing to do with the unfortunate events that have gone on in the American society over the past few weeks.
From the chat, Papa Bear CJ3131 is insinuating that you may have stood his ass up for a dinner. Is that true?
I have not.
Oh, okay. He might have just been making that up.
So I'm still waiting to go meet up with Papa Bear.
All right.
We've got a standing house dinner. I'm ready whenever. I think House just opened up, so it's my favorite restaurant in Atlanta, and it's been shit. We've had a standing dinner for the past year and a half maybe, and just haven't made it. And whenever he's ready, I'm ready to go.
All
now
right.
they've opened up.
You heard it here first, Papa Bear. All right, Sir Hiss. Hey, don't be a stranger, all right?
I won't. Just don't ban me anymore.
Well, then don't be a dick. I don't want to ban you. I like you. Be good, man.
Have a good one.
See you, bro. There you go, Sir Hiss. I'm so glad to have him back on the airwaves. I don't reckon he's called in for. It might have been basketball season, honestly. I know he called in football season. He was a great caller during football season. Anyway, that was just too good to pass up, even though we're trying to get Allie on the horn. Papa Bear, as you heard on the call, was trying to insinuate that Sir Hiss had stood him up. It sounded more like Sir Hiss gave him a standing offer for a meal that Papa Bear and Sir Hiss have not been able to kind of come to an accord on. So he did mention eating at Hal's, which is a tremendous place to eat. So if Papa Bear ought to try to make that work, yeah, I think that would be worth the effort. And since there's no voodoo in Atlanta, I don't feel any cognitive dissonance over that one. All right, we really need to we really need to get Allie on the horn. So let me get her on there. I'm taking questions for Alexandra. If you have things that you would like to ask, like for me to ask her. Aha, there it is. Alexander, are you there?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Allie, how dare you? Papa Bear's standing by this. He is insisting that Sir Hiss stood him up. That's terrible. All right, we'll see if Allie, try to get through to Allie real quick and make sure that we will get her on the horn one way or another. She's almost always, you can almost count on her. If she says she's going to do it, she'll do it. Does Allie know Amanda? You know, I had an interesting conversation on one of our Warzone chats the other night, and we were playing Warzone. I've been getting a lot of questions about Amanda, and I think that's her right there, actually. Hold on. Is this Alexandra?
This is Alexandra.
What up, Allie?
What's up, Jay?
Well, you were requested on the show last week, and I think, and I obviously didn't have much forewarning on that one, and I think you were out maybe just tearing it down. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I mean, if we're going to be honest, I was very out and unable to answer the phone call. And I'm not going to lie, I forgot that 9 o'clock Eastern was when you wanted me to call tonight. But it's 9:15. I feel like it's not that much later.
And
9:13. I'm not even 15 minutes late.
Yeah, well, Sir Hiss called earlier. We had to take that call, obviously. So I was a little bit late getting to you. Yeah.
I feel like, why are people still requesting me? You know, what do I have to offer to the table?
Well, on Twitter, you are quite a champion for the Auburn Tigers, and I think people still, they remember you from when you were an intern, and you're very pro Auburn on the Twitter, and I think everybody's just really enthusiastic about it.
I was told I was pure Auburn Twitter, so I'm, the holy angel of Auburn Twitter, which is pretty funny because I feel like I'm pretty hard on them. But I just feel like it's so weird because every guy I've ever covered is gone.
Yeah, except for Gus Malzahn, right?
Off to being coaches and being first-round draft picks, so I don't have anybody left.
I guess that means you were successful then.
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that. Does Rivals have a special going on that I can insert?
No.
Go to Rivals Fan Shop, 50% off.
Yeah, we have one of those going, but it's okay. I think you got a subscription for life because you were an intern and you're just a beast anyway.
I was like an intern, and guess how old I am now, Jay? 26. Isn't that embarrassing?
Gosh. So are you 4 years out of college now? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
I graduated in May 2016, so I'm 4+. Oh, that's gross to say out loud.
I was thinking back that me and Hoke hired you when you were just a freshman. It was like your first semester of freshman year.
Oh yeah, I was like pre-downfall Hoke, post-downfall Hoke, and I'm still here.
Yeah, there was
I was
like
there.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just, when people talk about like what happened, I feel like I was there watching like a Lifetime movie, and it was entertaining to say the least. But we got Brian Matthews, so I can never thank God enough because he's insanely great. So
yeah, there was like a 2-day period where it was just me and you, like because Hoke had left and we hadn't hired Brian yet, and it was just like, and Jeffrey was in the mountains. He wasn't part of the site anymore, and it was just like me and Allie, like, hey, so what do you want to do, Allie?
No, it's just Jay and Nightmare Allie saying, yeah, sure. Just rolling for 48 hours. But we survived, and now look at you. You got a Jeffrey not in the mountains and a Brian who's great, and then just like a post me because Ben Hoke never fulfilled my role. Nathan King, like, I guess it's okay, but like, has anyone really ever filled the role?
Wait a minute. Now, are you ragging on Man Bun Guy? You're saying that Ben Wolk was not up to par?
I feel like there's a lot of people that would agree with that.
Oh my goodness, Allie, this is a very hot take here.
Well, I feel like it's not. People who do Man Buns should be covering Auburn football. Is that a hot take? Is that a weird take?
He goes to Georgia games now, for what it's worth.
Yeah, imagine living in Athens. I can't relate. I literally cannot relate.
I know you want to go to an Auburn game this fall. Do you think that you will actually go to an Auburn game this fall?
That's a great question. If it were up to me, I would give up my seat to let students go and then like spread it out. I mean, that's just me being honest. Like, I would hate to have my junior or senior year taken by some random alumni who can go whenever,
Yeah.
But if I would have had like the 2013, season stripped out from under me, I would have been really upset. So I feel like I would give my seat up to a student. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that would agree. But if it were up to me, I'd be okay with just students. And then you guys fill it out, show up, and if you don't show up, you lose your seat, and then it gets, rotated in. So.
And then Aunt Allie comes and whoops your ass, man.
And then it's like, okay, if I can't be here and you're not going to even be here semi having fun, what are you doing?
Word.
I'm on the sophomore Knicks train, so.
You think he's
going to
be great?
What do I have to lose?
Do you think he's going to be great this year?
God, I think he's going to be fine. I hope our offensive linemen, just block other colors of jerseys. That was a little bit of an issue last season, but I think they're good. If they can stop, I think he's going to be great. I really do. And if he's not, then it's another just L. I don't know. Then we have a problem at recruiting and developing quarterbacks. So.
One of our posters, Outlaw 7, says that Ben Wolk is humping Allie's leg. I don't even know what that means, but do you know Ben? Have you met Ben?
I've met Ben like once or twice.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. Man.
He seemed great, I guess. I can't imagine going to the University of Georgia, but he seemed to have a decent time, I guess.
Yeah.
He wanted so badly to come to Auburn that he decided to cover them, but he seems great. I was not single then, but I am single now.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen him since. I think he's engaged and having a great life.
He's doing a great job. As far as you being single, Allie, anybody who would be interested in maybe talking to you or whatever, is there a way they could maybe submit their information to you for your perusal, or how would that work?
Yeah, we're starting an AuburnRivals.com bachelor. I'm the first bachelorette. So please submit it to Jay, and he can do the feeding, because I trust your judgment. Some kind of ish. I trust your judgment-ish. And then we're going to just host an AuburnRivals.com bachelorette. I feel like it would go really well.
Sure. Everybody on our site's calm and normal and rational. We have a lot of good folks, I guess.
Yeah, we can go to Voodoo Wings and have the final rose ceremony. I just feel like there's a lot of options here if people really want to get in contact.
That's what I like to hear. Someone on Canoe Man is asking, what is Allie's take on the basketball front? What are your expectations for basketball next year?
Oklahoma State was weird. Everything that happened to them was very just weird. I trust Bruce Pearl. I feel like that's all anyone really can say now, is they just trust him. And if things are going to hit the fan, I guess they're going to hit the fan. But do I think we're going to be like a Final Four preseason team? No. Do I think people should not, look at us sideways like they have in the past? Probably. But I feel like basketball is just one of those things still, like Bruce has just such a strangle on it that no one can really tell what they're going to be.
Yeah.
I was in Athens when we lost by like 400, and that was depressing this year. Anthony Edwards just shot lights out, and I was like, oh my God, we can't literally pay for a basket, literally.
Yeah.
So that was depressing. But then we came off almost into tournament, and we were on fire. So it's hard. It'd make my life in spring a lot more fun, although I did go to a lot of basketball and baseball games simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super on the Butch Thompson train too.
Yeah. He's good.
So it'd be great. Cody Greenhill's coming back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Seth Williams is coming back, I saw. So I think, I think spring could be a lot of fun for students if they go out there and enjoy it. So,
Allie, of course, everybody's behind you. Everybody at auburnsports.com. We miss you. Obviously we've wished you well, but you've gone out there and you've done it. You're kicking ass out there in Atlanta. So, just keep kicking ass. That's my advice.
Well, I'm always here, Jay, and the fact that, I'm like an aunt and now your daughter's in college makes me feel 10 times older.
Yeah,
so
it should.
I'm not a fan of that, but you guys are always my number one. So I'm here, and I read the bunker, whether people like to admit it or not. I see it.
Right.
So when you guys tag me in a weird shit, I see it. Excuse my language, but I do see it. So you can't hide it. You can't hide it for long.
Well, you've always got a home at the bunker, so be sure and stop by every now and then.
Thanks, Jay.
You bet, Allie.
Always will.
All right, you behave yourself out there tonight.
I'll try.
Let's make good decisions.
I always try.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Jay.
There she is, Allie D herself. Our first intern. She may not be into sports writing now, but she's still kicking ass in Atlanta. Why do you have the question for the administrative assistant? Why do you have the forehead thermometer with you? Oh, geez, really? Was it high? No. My daughter was a little sick early, and so administrative assistant was doing a temperature check, but apparently she was not high. I do want to give a couple shout-outs here to Hornatius for super chats. One of them says, beware, Allie. David the Wizard has STDs. I would absolutely, under no circumstance, recommend for Allie that she ever go on a date with David the Wizard. Okay, so we'll never do that. And also Hornatius says, sup beaches, minor sucks. Okay. And Bob himself, also known as Bob Mapplethorpe, says, Allie will always be a legend here, but my boy Nate wears the pants now. He wears them well. Nate King, our current intern, who's done a great job. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. Simultaneously claims Huntsville and Orlando, but whatever, that's fine. I thought it was funny, Allie, giving Man Bun Guy a little bit of grief. It was interesting. I didn't know that those two knew each other very well, but apparently she knows enough to kind of talk some shit at him. And he is missed. I actually sent Ben a text yesterday because my hair's long enough now where my wife can actually put it in a sprout. It's almost like a man bun. It's like the beginning of a man bun. And I just did that so I could take a picture and send it to Nate. I'm sorry, Nate. To Man Bun Guy. Be like, look, dude. Sorry, I had to answer that text right there. And he was impressed. Ben was impressed with my little mini man bun. Excuse me. J.S. Lowry says, "Oh man, hope she gets to feeling better." I thought she just had like a really bad headache that made her throw up. I think she's fine. Sometimes she gets really bad headaches, and then if it get bad enough, they make you want to throw up. I used to have these earlier in my life, and then I discovered Excedrin migraine. If I take 2 of those, there's no more headache. Period. The only downside of that is you can't take those after about 8 o'clock at night because they will keep you up all night. But she's fine. Everything's fine. J.S. Lowry says the Wiz must be locked up. There hasn't been a cringeworthy post in a few days. Did Chris Hansen get him? Let's look this up, man. I want to see, because I don't remember him posting anything super recent either. Let's see. I got a couple DMs that were coming through here. Neither one of them are a problem. I hope that Honk, if you coached at Bama, knows how much he rattled me today. Can you guys tell? He says, this is what Honk, if you coached at for Bama, says, well, I'm glad you're not rustled, but you might need to check your estrogen level. You said a couple of times y'all are just fine without me. Now you are inviting me to watch? No, not really, but that's cool. Bob Mapplethorpe's jumping in, too. Bob Mapplethorpe says, Honk is my buddy and neighbor. I mean, I trust Bob himself. I mean, he seems like a pretty good dude. But what's interesting is that Bob himself, I know, likes the show. He was on the show last week. He super chatted just moments ago, and he's been a consistent contributor for months. So I know you've got the back of this show, bro. Ed Darby, my man, who comes through with the football, the serious, stern football question, says, Yo, JG, where do you see Chad Morris calling plays during the game, field or booth? I believe you can make adjustments quicker from the booth than on the field. That's a great question. I don't know what Chad's history is at Clemson. I don't know where he coached when he was at Clemson. That's a great question, though. So some of you guys might actually know that because you guys might have watched more. Like for me, I basically don't watch football unless it's Auburn. I know that's kind of lame, and I watch the college football final usually because I don't know, like when I go to bed after football games like 2 a.m. they're doing the replay on ESPN, so I watch that. And then I watch every Auburn game from start to finish, and I watch it again or a couple more times for the camera eye. But I don't watch a lot of football, so like when Clemson was really good, when Chad was there, I wasn't watching them very much. So you guys might actually know. But that's an interesting question, Ed. Good stuff. I think Chad's going to be huge for Auburn, though. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's a hot take, but I think that dude, because he took a lot of Gus's ideas and then he kind of advanced them in a way that Gus hasn't or hadn't. And so he seems to me to be a guy who evolves better than Gus does. I think that Gus knows that. He wouldn't say that publicly, but he knows that. I mean, he can look at Chad, even though they're friends, and he can say he's better at this, this, and this. He does things this way that I don't. I mean, obviously, Chad sees a lot of value in tight ends in a way that Gus really doesn't. And you can tell me, oh, what about Philip Lutzenkirchen? Well, Lutzenkirchen, as good as he was, he's basically like a flex receiver. I mean, because he was just a kind of a weird athlete. Like, he was a big dude who could be strong at the point of attack, but really he had some of those wide receiver skills. He was incredible in the air at shaping his body and getting in position and catching balls. He was really good at that. So to me, he was more of a flex receiver, and CJ Uzama definitely is that kind of player too. I mean, they're really good, both of them. CJ's still in the NFL and doing well. But, again, to me, he was kind of a flex receiver. He's almost like an athlete because really CJ was a quarterback in high school. He could have played H kind of. He could have been a slot receiver, a big slot. I don't know. But, Chad obviously is going in a different direction. I mean, the Brandon Frazier kid that he got out of Texas is a straight-up Hoss tight end. And Luke Fromm is a tight end. And I'm sorry, Jake Fromm's brother. Did I get his name right? I know Deal, Fromm. Now you got Brandon Frazier. You got the kid from Colquitt County, John Samuel Schenker. All of them are good tight ends. Although I think Schenker's underused. Maybe he won't be this year. And they got Brandon Frazier. They're going to be using tight ends. And I think part of that is, as we know, Gus has some issues attacking the middle of the field, and I don't think Chad's going to do that. I think Chad's going to bludgeon people in the middle of the field. He's going to get the pieces together to do that. I think he's got the quarterback to do it. I think he's got some of the players to do it as far as the receivers. I mean, I personally think Brandon Frazier is going to be an absolute beast soon, like very quickly, like second half of this coming season, maybe the first half, I don't know. And I think Seth's really good, although he's more of an outside challenger. Eli. We'll get into this when we start doing the countdown of the players. Remember, we voted on that the other day on SurveyMonkey. We actually closed it. Got a lot of great data from you guys on the bunker. When we do the countdown, I think you might be surprised a little bit where Stowe fits in. I don't see, for myself, and I like Eli Stowe a lot, I don't see him as a primetime performer. I do think Seth Williams is a beast, and I do think Flash is a beast, but I don't see the value in Eli Stowe. And Casey, Outlaw 7 correctly notes that Excedrin migraine is loaded with caffeine. Absolutely. Like for a guy like me, I take a bunch of caffeine at night. I can't go to sleep. 16-year-old or whatever, 18-year-old daughter, probably not going to be affected by it very much. Hornation says, text Christy and ask her about Booth or Field for chat. Nah, I'm good. AU Pooch in the house. AU Pooch, I think I had to ban you the other day, bro. I think I did. It wasn't a particularly serious offense. But I think I had to. It hurts me more than it hurts you, brother. AU Taxman says the survey was a sobering experience. I felt the same way. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but looking at the data here, I mean, I think all of us feel like, Bo Nix, Seth Williams, KJ Britt are good football players. Flash is a really good football player. So those four you feel really good about. And I think most of us, possibly all of us, believe that Owen Papo is a really good football player. He made some mistakes last year, but he's a hit stick, and he's really fast, and he was getting better last year as far as understanding where to be in space. he would get out of position a little bit too quickly early in the season, but I didn't feel like that was a problem for him later in the season. But so he's a tremendous player. But after that, it starts kind of sliding a little bit, right? So like Sherwood, I happen to think a lot of Jamie and Sherwood, but I don't necessarily think that every person out there does. McCreary, he hasn't been a number one lockdown guy yet, so I don't know how deep we can get into this stuff. How much do you like McCreary? I mean, I think we all like the fact that he's a fighter, and I think he's a really good athlete. And so far, he's been a good third cornerback, but he's going to be going from third to first. And you got Truesdell. I mean, he's a good player, but he's kind of like Dontavius. He's tough to appreciate. Tut. I happen to like Christian Tut a lot. He's the guy Kevin Steele wanted to play that position, no doubt about it. But when you're playing Jalen Waddle, when you're playing Jamar Chase, he gets beat. And it's not even a knock on him. He's a nickel. He's supposed to be a hybrid cover guy / linebacker. Like you're not expecting him to keep up with Jalen Waddle. If he does, that'd be great. But then you got Tut, Stove, Broham, Smoke Monday, Big Cat Bryant, Nick Brahms, Derek Hall, Chandler Wooten, Zacoby, Jaron Handy, Daquan Newkirk, DJ Williams, Connis Miller. I mean, all of a sudden you're down to dudes that are like, well, I mean, I'm glad he's on the Auburn team, but do I feel like he's going to absolutely, is he going to pack a lunch and whoop somebody's ass? I mean, I don't know. They haven't. I mean, that's not to say they won't. I think that's what you mean. JM says, hey, Jay, can you give a shout-out to my daughters Ava and Lila? Ava, Lila, you got a good pops there. Glad to have you on the show. And look at that. Bob himself jumps in with a shout-out himself to Ava and Lila, which says appropriately, shout-out to Ava and Lila from Bob himself. Ryan D. jumps in as well, says chipping in for the bourbon. Thank you, Ryan D. Appreciate your support, bro. This one's coming to us courtesy of Michael M. from California, but other times it's not. So thank you very much for your support. Hey, administrative assistant, this is the like the cork on top of that stuff. Feel how heavy this is. I mean, it's like made of tungsten or something. Thanks, doctor. Oh, cork. Why don't you do that? Guys, I'm telling you, this Discovery Series 2 is delish. Super good. War Eagles 02. Oh, man, back again. Says, COVID sucks, War Damn Eagle. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate you. Of course, you're one of our most consistent super chatters, along with Bob himself and others. Thank you very much for your support of the show and for just being an all-around badass, both here and on the bunker. Look at that. Look at that. JM says, thanks, Bob. Of course. Also, Hornation says, Ava and Lila for the win. What do I have? What's my temperature? 98.4. What's it supposed to be? I'm 0.2 under. Yes. Hey, can you turn it up or down 1 degree? It's getting a little warm in here. Yeah. Yeah. Administrative assistant in the house, guys. All right. So, AU Taxman, I think that's what you were talking about. It gets a little sobering. You just got a lot of dudes down there in the 10 to 25 range where you're like, I think that guy's going to be good, but I'm not sure. And you don't really want to jump in and feel like there's that many guys you're wondering about, I mean, you look at the guys that are kind of like also receiving votes type players. I mean, Sean Shivers, it's like, how do you feel about him? I mean, what he did to Xavier McKinney will be immortalized for generations. At the same time, like, he doesn't change directions well, and that means he's not very elusive. He's useful in certain applications. Jaron Handy. I mean, dude, I don't even know what to expect from him. I don't know how y'all would figure that out. Austin Troxel. I mean, he hasn't played a meaningful snap yet. He's had 3 knee surgeries. Could be a badass. Was a badass for sure. Can he help now? I don't know. Derek Hall. Now, I do kind of like him, but that's more of intuition than anything else. And then Tayshaun Manning, I have no idea. I truly have no idea what to tell you about Tayshaun Manning. He's been here forever, and I still can't tell you what to expect from him. He's big, and he's definitely loves Auburn. He's been part of the Auburn program for a long time, even before he got to Auburn. You know what I mean? But, he had to overcome the cancer, and he's been back for a while now, and he hasn't really made a bunch of ground up when it comes to getting to the starting position, although he may get it this year. We don't know. He was playing behind some dudes last year that had a lot of experience, and I wasn't expecting him to start, but I was thinking he would be kind of a number one slam dunk guy this year, and I don't think it's there. I think Broham's definitely one of those guys. He's going to play guard. He's going to be good. I can almost guarantee it. Nick Brom's going to play center. I think he's going to be good. I can almost guarantee it. But after that, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's going to have to be a JUCO guy at left tackle, and I think it's going to probably have to be they need to get something out of Austin Troxel. Well, I'm not saying they can't get it. I know he's a very tough player. Hey, Cord, I don't need to hear that right now. If you don't mind. Let's see. JM was one of our friends over from the rebelgroves.com over there with Neil McGreefy and Chance the Yapper. Glad to have our friends from the Rebel Groves site. Of course, I do a podcast on Sundays or Mondays with Neil McGreefy from the Ole Miss site, and also oftentimes Gabe from the Missouri site. We just happen to be friends in real life, so we like to do a show together. Gabriel was, and I don't want to spoil the show tomorrow, but Gabriel found himself in the middle of a potentially a federal crime today. He was not the perpetrator. He just happened to be a witness to what ended up being a federal crime. Pretty serious story. It was actually on the news there in Columbia. I know it's not a big city, so making the news in Columbia isn't a big deal, but we'll talk about it on G-Pits tomorrow. JM says he is G-Pits for life. Appreciate you guys' support over there. We get a lot of support from the Ole Miss side on that show. Seems like the Auburn folks, they just, Neil and the Auburn folks kind of have a sour relationship. So, yeah, I think that's part of the issue. Canoe Man says, can we get Jay Jacobs on the horn? I don't think that Jay, I don't think he would like to come on the show. Me and Jay don't get along. And I don't say that about many people at Auburn, but I just don't think that Jay, me and Jay just don't get along. Just leave it at that. I was really put off by some of the things that he did, and I told him about it, and I don't think he appreciated that, and I didn't appreciate what he did, and just kind of let it go. Now he's gone. He's at University of Florida. He is with his boy Scott Strickland, who is the Florida AD. He used to work at Auburn many, many years ago. He was an SID at Auburn, a really good one. Scott Strickland is as good a dude as you're going to know in this business. And in kind of a secondary way, I pull for Florida because of him. Because he's good people. Call me Biscuit says of Gabe, federal crime in his pantry. It's because Gabe's got a new background now, kind of like the one I have, except it says Power Mizzou. But before that, it looked like he was doing his show like in a pantry or something. It was kind of funny. Pocket Watch says, why didn't you explain that in Jay Jacobs' voice? It sounds a lot like Bill Clinton, I think. But, JG, I don't know if I should go on the show. What do you want to ask me about? Well, we're going to ask you about the softball investigation. Now, I don't have anything to say about that. Well, you had plenty to say when me and James Crapey asked you about it, and you said you didn't know anything about it, that nothing was going on. And then I come to find out that 2 months before that, you were investigating Casey. Yeah, well, I wasn't fully aware of that. I don't remember the specific question. And I said later, I could have been a little more upfront about it. No, what you did is you lied. You actually took a question that James asked you and you lied about it. And then you had Cassie come up with this BS where you said you weren't as forthcoming as you should have been, which is code word for you lied to his face on record. Well, that's just a difference of opinion, JG. I'm not sure. I don't know. I wouldn't lie. No, I don't know that. That's about how it goes. I probably should just keep it on wax, but you guys asked. I don't make a habit of. I said Casey. I'm sorry. It was Corey, wasn't it? It was Corey. I didn't get mixed up at the time. Now that it's in my rear view, I get the names mixed up. No. Casey was the good dude, right? Isn't that right? Yeah, Casey was the straight-laced nerd type. Yes. So it was Corey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get that mixed up. My fault. Corey was the one. Me and James knew he was being investigated. We knew that. And Jay lied to us. And what he should have done is should have just said, I don't want to answer that. Or I don't feel qualified to answer that at this point. Or just something like that. That's all you got to say. Then you're not lying. But when you say, no, I don't know anything about it, and then we come to find out you did, and then you have to have Cassie Arners that make up some BS story about how I wasn't as forthcoming as I should have been. No, Auburn's softball coach had sexual relations with that woman. Matt N., thank you for that. Pocket Watch says it's easy to remember Corey because Corey rhymes with Scory. Oh, hey now. Scory Myers. Got it. What's up, Vernon? Glad to have you back with us. I think you were on a couple weeks ago. Glad to have you back, bro. Yeah, that whole softball thing just kind of bums me out. I really liked Clint, man. He was one of my favorites ever. I mean, of course you're going to like him because he's drinking beer, and I mean, not when he's working, like after practice and stuff, but he's drinking beer in his camper outside the outfield fence. I mean, he's a cool dude. As cool as it gets. And still to this day, he's a nice dude. I mean, I can't really stand behind what he was doing, like, not that he was doing anything, but he had reason to believe that one of his sons was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. And he probably should have put his foot down and said, stop doing that, or, get it straightened out, because I think that stuff had been going on before. So it just kind of leaves me wondering what happened there. Because Clint's a really good dude to cover. And honestly, man, I like Mickey too. Mickey and Clint are very different kinds of people, but they're both, Mickey's a real straight shooter. And I like that about anybody who I cover who's a straight shooter. I'm good with that. As long as you're not lying to me, I'm cool. You don't have to give me all the great information. Just can't lie. Don't lie to me. Mickey Dean ain't going to lie to me. Gus Malzahn ain't going to lie to me. When I ask Gus questions and he doesn't want to answer, he just doesn't answer. I'm good with that. There's some stuff you don't want to answer. Fine. BP, same way. BP's great to work with on this end. Basketball coaches, I'm telling you, though, are a little different. Football coaches, as a rule, Tuberville notwithstanding, because he was kind of a different one, but football coaches in general are pretty straight shooters, generally. Basketball coaches generally are more full of shit. BP definitely has kind of a showman thing about him that you definitely don't see from Gus, and you just don't see from football coaches. Even somebody like Dabo, who's a pretty chatty dude, he isn't even like BP. And, John Calipari is like that. Tom Crean is like that. Rick Stansberry's like that. It's like they're P.T. Barnum, I think basketball coaches just are like that in general. I have met some that weren't. Herb Sendek at Kentucky, who went on to coach at Arizona State, he was not like that. He was super straight-laced. Patino once said that Herb Sendek, his first beer is his first beer. Took me a while to figure that one out. Either way, I'm cool. BP's a good dude. He's fair. And he doesn't lie. Bob Mapplethorpe says Tubbs loves him some Tubbs. Yeah, kind of. Tubbs, he did a lot of white lying. Like, to him, it was almost kind of like funny. Like, he was kind of being like a prankster. I mean, it's odd to kind of think about him being a U.S. senator, though. I mean, I'm going to vote for him. I know that might piss some of you guys off, but I don't know. I've just known him so long, and I know that he in his heart wants to go up there and do a really good job for the people of Alabama. And he's a guy that I've always felt like when he puts his mind on something, he's pretty damn good at it. And I do think he cares about people. That's my opinion on Tubb. You know, he has definitely hitched his wagon to Trump in a way that, you know, I don't necessarily think is going to help him a ton. But I'm not making this a politics show. I'm just saying. It seems like everything Trump does, he goes, oh, yeah, Mr. President, that's great. Obviously, that Tommy thinks that it's to his benefit to do that. But Tommy is a very sharp dude. I don't know if he's really book smart, but he's great at understanding where people are coming from, sizing people up, understanding what their intentions are, which I think would make him a great politician. We've talked about that many, many times through the years, that I thought his calling was politics. You know, and his dad, Charles Rowe Tuberville, really, really wanted him to be a football coach. You know, now his dad died a long time ago. But Tubb, you know, his dad was a big-time football official, and he lived for football, and it was just a big part of Tommy's life, even though Tommy was not a great football player at all. Love the Cat says Tubbs going to build that wall. Hell yeah, he is. Pocket Watch says Tubbs has to do that to win the election. Well, you know, you're probably right about that. I don't understand. Corny says Jay is an independent. He called me out for saying something that was liberal. I don't remember what, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I probably lean more conservative, but a lot of times people in the bunker get mad because I kind of back up. I don't really back them up. I just try to keep people from just climbing all over Stump Fan and Ghost of Tallahassee Tiger, two guys who are pretty liberal on the bunker, just because it seems like it's 1,000 to 1 against those guys, which probably is. So I just try to give them a chance to talk a little bit. Now, Stump Fan goes too far. He was doing some stuff today that really kind of bugged me, and I sent him a message about it. And I shut down one of his threads that he was ruining. But anyway, try to be in the middle. Canoe Man says coaching beats frying catfish. Hell yeah. I was the first one to write about that years and years and years ago. He had told me about Tubby's catfish, just kind of in passing. And I followed up with him a bunch on that and his sister. And interviewed her and found out a bunch of stuff about the restaurant. It was called Tubby's Catfish in Tullahoma, Tennessee. It was a real place. And when you would get a drink there, their in-house drink was called pond water. It was called pond water. It was basically bug juice, but they called it pond water. If I went to a restaurant, I don't care if I was at Shrimp Basket or somewhere that was really, laid back or whatever. If they said it was pond water, I would not drink it. That would not interest me. But then again, I'm not a native of Tullahoma, Tennessee. Maybe that's what it is. So, yeah, that's the story there on old Tub. Let's have another sip of this. We got some clarity the other day on my daughter's been going to South Alabama this year. We got some clarity on their plans for their academic schedule. They're going to start on August 12th-ish? August 13th, and they're going to go straight through to right before Thanksgiving. No fall break or anything like that. And then they're going to break for Thanksgiving and stay broke. So you're not going back. They won't be going back between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So once you bounce on like November 23rd or whatever, you're staying home until you come back in January. Now, I have reason to believe that, well, if you believe the COVID stuff and some of these scientists that think that there will be another outbreak in the wintertime, they may delay the comeback, so to speak. But they're at South Alabama, once you go home, you stay home for a while. I reckon they're going to do that at Auburn, too. So it's just something to kind of keep an eye on for how that stuff goes down. I don't think that's going to affect SEC football players because the kids are going to be at school and they'll be playing. I am 95% sure at this point. And I was skeptical maybe a month ago. At this point, I'm almost positive they're going to be playing football. I just think that it's going to be a little different. Obviously, you're going to have fewer people in the stands, and you've got to keep your mind open for the possibility that some of these kids are going to test positive, and you're going to have to they can't play like that. So they would have to be quarantined and then wouldn't be available. So if Bo Nix gets sick or Bo Nix just tests positive, even if he's asymptomatic. He would have to miss a game or two. And that could be a real game changer. I mean, you think about how important he is to what Auburn does on a Saturday afternoon, you know. I mean, it's the same way for every team in the SEC, but there's probably some sucky teams where it doesn't really matter. But so that's kind of a reality, and you got to keep open the possibility that they might completely skip a game. I mean, if Auburn has 7 kids test positive and Kentucky has 10 kids test positive, I don't think that's likely, but if it happened, they might just postpone that game or even just straight up cancel it. I don't know. So some of that stuff a year ago would be completely out of the realm of possibility of something that could happen now. But I do think they're going to be playing football this year. And I think they're going to be going straight up on the schedule that you see in front of you, starting with the Alcorn State game on September 5. Like, I think that's going to go down. And I think the game against North Carolina Atlanta, I think it's going to go down. And I think the game at Ole Miss is going to go down. I think they're going to play it. Administrative assistant is a little skeptical. Oh. Yeah, we had Sir Hiss on earlier. He said that there was, he lives in Buckhead, and he said it was pretty active up there. She says protesters have shut down I-85 because they're on it. Is this like downtown, or is this up? Yeah, I know it all kind of looks the same in the dark, right? I mean, one stretch of road is one stretch of road, but apparently things are getting kind of rattled in Atlanta tonight. Interesting. It's been very quiet in Montgomery. We were supposed to have a I can't remember what they were going to call it. It was like the name of it was like a peaceful demonstration. I don't know if it was like the Love March or something like that here in Montgomery. And for whatever reason, the city kind of backed out of it, and it got canceled. I was going to go. We were both going to go. I mean, I'm all down for, peaceful walking downtown and showing support for our fellow Montgomeryans. But it got canceled. It's been very quiet here in Montgomery. There was one instance the first weekend where some dudes they tried to break down or break out a ATM, and cops showed up, and they didn't seem maybe as tied to the cause. Once the cops showed up, they were trying to steal the ATM. I don't know what they thought they were going to do with it. Once they got it in there, it was a passenger car. I don't know where they were going to put the ATM. They didn't have anywhere to put it. Like, it wasn't going to fit in the door. It wasn't going to fit in the trunk. But anyway, that was like the only one I've seen. Pachuta wants to know what the story is in Atlanta. We need an update from our man, Taxman. I thought Taxman lived in Birmingham. Ryan D says, JGT, just tell these political guys in the bunker to go watch their Fox or CNN and keep it off the bunker. I mean, dude, we do. We really try. We've got a political thread. We got a political board. And a lot of times those guys do start the threads on the political board and leave it over there. And I support that. It's good. We've got a political forum. Those guys can go over there and yell at each other all day long about liberal, conservative, whatever. I really would prefer that to be off the bunker. No, not only would I prefer it, I want it off the bunker. So I move most of that stuff. And occasionally it slides in there and they sneak it into another thread that doesn't have anything to do with politics. And maybe I miss it, or maybe I just try to excise the political part of it. Sometimes there's good threads, man, that get ruined by people just trying to be political. But Bob himself says he's logging off. Tell Docs to fax me when he calls in. Hey, now. J.S. Lowry says chat on his iPhone is working fine. But Corny Mofo was trying to figure out he's having some trouble with his iPhone chat. Good on the iPad, not bad on the iPhone. I don't know. I don't know what version you've got of your iPhone. I've got an X. And I don't know, because I'm just here on the computer. I don't ever get to see it that way. Let's see. Pachuta says if there's no SEC football, I'm packing up, moving to the Chaz. I like my odds there. Yeah, I do too. I really, really, really like your odds on that one. Leif says political threads have made me not go to the Rebel Grove lately. Yeah, I know that I've talked to Neil about this before. Neil feels like they should be free to talk about politics on their board. Because I think, in general, you guys over at Rebel Grove don't get super political. Like on a regular, February Tuesday or whatever, like you guys are not getting political. I feel like over on our site, we tend to get political. More so than at Rebel Grove, for whatever reason. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe that's to Neil's credit. Whatever, I don't know. But I know he's kind of let it go over there. When I go over there probably once a day or so, and I'm looking at those political threads thinking, geez, I would move this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, but they can run their own site. They do their own thing. PP Rockman in the house, one of the all-time greats, obviously one of the superstars of auburnsports.com. Glad to have you here, bro. Also, D Lucky in the house. Someone who's really become one of the big-time posters here lately. Always a good voice of reason. Hornation says he's just down 5 buzzballs AMA. Yeah, I got an AMA for you, bro. Why are you always hating on minor? Huh? I know why, though. Oh, yeah. It's delicious. Hey, will you want a sip of this bourbon? Oh, you are interested. Be my pleasure to pour you a little something there, administrative assistant. Get you that shot right there, big girl. Got some water for you, too. Gotta stay hydrated. It's an important part of the process. It's hot. It's 120 proof. We usually drink stuff that's maybe 100 or less. So we had Allie D on the horn earlier. Also Sir Hiss. Is it waking you up a little bit? Oh, okay. What are you doing here? Stretching. Okay. Bad girl. All right, let's see what's going on. Pachuta says, honestly stopped watching news overall. I personally have not watched. You want more? I personally have not watched news in like 5 days. Just none. Not one thing. We watch movies, or we watch a TV show, or stream show, or I'm playing Warzone. That's pretty much what we do. I just don't have any interest in it either way. I mean, the oh, I saw you were watching that earlier. Guy's a scoundrel, isn't he? Just wasn't watching the Jeffrey Epstein documentary. I think we can all agree that guy was a creep. We got to talk about Aubie Laker a little bit. Hornatius with a super chat. This is at Aubie Laker, $2,000 super chat. Yeah, so Aubie Laker, who really was just kind of a anonymous poster until recently, started a thread back. This is back a few months ago. And he was basically like, they're never going to play sports again. What an awful take. Never going to play sports again, and I'll bet you $2,000 they don't, which everybody on earth was trying to make this bet with him. And he seemed pretty much non-committal about it. I think he knew he overstepped his bounds. But he had made a mistake pretty quickly, but he didn't want to back down. And now that sports are going, we got sports everywhere, like literally. We got PGA's going this weekend. We got Bundesliga. We got Prem League starting up next weekend. We got the NBA in like 2 weeks. I mean, literally everything is starting up, except for MLB because they can't get their shit straight. You know, they're just fussing over money. Horrible look from MLB. But anyway, like basically everything's going, and then this dude's allegedly down. You know, he said he was going to bet somebody $2,000. So the people in the bunker are like, dude needs to pay up. Well, obviously he's not going to pay $2,000 to Cowardly Toaster or whoever actually took the bet. And he got himself banned earlier, Aubie Laker did, for just saying like something really weird and out of place. Like he was just trying to get banned. I don't, you know, he did send me a direct message earlier today. I don't feel right. I don't feel right discussing what goes on in direct message because you guys are always free to direct message me, and I don't want you ever to feel like JG's going to get on the brain drain and spout off everything I told him in a DM or whatever. But yeah, I think Aubie Laker, he knows the score. He knows what's up. So I'll be interested to see how he kind of works his way out of this. Personally, I mean, come on, man. He's not going to. If you guys want to say he's going to welch on a $2,000 bet, I mean, maybe. I mean, he probably is, but I mean, I don't know. He was just kind of being facetious, right? He wasn't actually trying to throw down. Bob says it was 2,000 and many, many posters. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but he was just basically running his mouth. I don't know. I you guys are gonna raise hell with him for forever now, and he's gonna have to probably change his name or cancel his account and start a new one or whatever. He's been around for a while too. 10 years. It was a very, very bad take, and it was a very, very bad bet. So that's all true. I mean, to me, this is worse than Jimpty. This is not as bad as Jimpty, I should say. Jimpty actually took some tickets for somebody and didn't pay him. And that's really bad. Now, the dude did get his money, but I had to intervene, like, more than once. And I'm not trying to be a hero myself. I mean, I was helping the guy, but, come on. And then I think it was, it was Rice. Rice lost a bet to Farm Data and was a little sluggish with the payback, but that was more of a straight up bet to me. That was a real bet. And Rice DP did provide remuneration, so it's all good. Corny Mofo says, good for you, JGT. Private is private. Your pics are safe with me. The only person that has a picture of me that could be potentially problematic for me is David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff has a picture of me that is not me at my best. And I mean, obviously, I gave it to him willingly, knowing full well that this would probably show up again someday, but I'm just going to leave it up to David Hasselhoff's discretion as to if he ever shows that again in public. But he does have a picture of me that has never seen the light of day, except for my friends. I've seen it. You guys are remembering the Rice bet with Farm D. J.S. Lowry says he had to feed his kid. Yes, Rice tried to back out of it initially and said, I've got to use that money to feed my kid, which we all were just like, come on, man. What are you talking about? No. Yes. Yeah. Fornacious says, yes, the Rice bet was a made bet. Yeah, that was a straight up bet. I mean, that was just like, and I don't remember how much it was. It wasn't $2,000. It was probably $200, $250, $100, something like that. Fornacious says, dude, we have video of you after the Ole Miss game. Oh, man. I was ripped. We had like 1,200 viewers that night, too. Just because it was, it was like our Auburn folks and our Ole Miss folks, everybody together. Good stuff, man. Call Me Biscuit says, at least Obby Laker gets a discount and credit on Rivals promo. You're talking about when he cancels his account and gets a new one. That's true. That's true. That's true. J.S. Lowry says, to be fair, Rice hasn't been as bad lately. I agree, man. The last 6 months or so, Rice has been way less. I don't know what the right word to describe him is. He's like, I mean, I'm saying like a year ago. He's like angrily wrong, right? Like he's just like, he's wrong and he's mad about it. And he doesn't seem that way as much anymore. I've actually found him saying things recently where I'm like, that actually makes sense to me, like, which rarely happened before with him. Canoe Man reminded me that Ole Miss drunk is actually a thing. It's like you can say to yourself, dude, I'm definitely buzzing, but man, I'm not Ole Miss drunk. Hell, I've had like 5 shots of this stuff and 122 proof bourbon. I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm buzzing a little bit, but I'm not Ole Miss drunk, that's for sure. Pour one a little taller here. I don't think these are full 2-ounce shots, though. I know that. I mean, this one might be. Most of them aren't. Oh, yeah. D. Lucky says, I must have missed his worst because Rice sucks to me. Yeah, I think you missed his worst. It was about 2 years ago, man. He was insufferable. He was basically what Stump Fan is now. Except Stump Fan, like, he's got this thing about he's like on the COVID train, right? He always wants to turn everything into like, hundreds of thousands of people are going to die and, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to call it Death Bros. I think we've decided on the bunker to call it Corona Bros. He's one of the Corona Bros, and he's going that way. Rice, I didn't feel like he ever had like that singular platform that he was pushing, a singular agenda, I should say, that he was pushing. He was just kind of like always being a naysayer and just, but it was like positions that like no sane person would hold. I don't remember them specifically, but it was just silly stuff. And he's not that bad now. Seems like he's kind of more with things now. I was really bothered though when Liger started posting pictures of Rice off his Facebook page. That's bullshit, man. I told him what I thought about it. I told Liger, I was like, dude, don't do that. Because I really want to like Liger. Liger's funny. I think Liger's funny. But he gets so enamored with the Gus sucks thing. Like it just consumes him. And it makes him not as funny anymore. Johnny K says, drink a little drink for me. Cordy Mofo says, I like DM8 because he's always I like DM8 because he's always wrong. He's the opposite of my true north. DM8. DM8 actually might be a better D Lucky. That might be a better reference for what Rice used to be. Because DM8, like, because some fans just pushing this COVID thing all the time, right? And he also did this thing tonight where he's calling people pedos. I didn't understand where he was going with that. He was actually getting on War Eagle G about it. And I'm not the world's biggest War Eagle G fan, as he will tell you. But I thought Stump went way too far on that one. I ended up having to lock a thread because of that. But Rice doesn't do stuff like that. KCC says Rice is shitty, but you can wipe it away. Hornatius says the LSU game last year broke Rice and made him tolerable. He also says he thinks Rice is a good dude, just young and misdirected. I don't even know if Rice is that young. I mean, he's not like a teenager. He's definitely not a teenager. I was thinking he was like 30-ish, maybe a little bit older. I don't know. Call Me Biscuit says, shout out to D Lucky, man of reason. He has a great view of social injustice. Oh, I haven't seen that. I didn't know if D Lucky had made a post that kind of brings everything together. I haven't been on the last hour or two though. See, I was thinking the other day of folks who I know, folks I've met offline. Okay, there's a lot. I would say of all the people I've met offline, I bet there's 200 people I've met offline. Whether it's at a game or it's at one of the bunker meetups, or I've met some people just randomly out in Montgomery. Hell, I met a couple people in this no shit. I actually met a bunker member in Punta the first time I went down there. I ended up playing a blackjack with him. I wish I knew who that was. Anywho, of all the people I met, like the dudes that are like the guys that I would trust the most, like if I had a secret to tell, I probably wouldn't tell anybody in the bunker, but if I did, like the guys I would trust the most are Thomas. Now, I know some of you guys have a problem with R. Thomas, but he's a really super, super credible dude. R. Thomas and AU Goat are two guys I met that I just think a whole lot of. Really good dudes. Two different kinds of guys. No. AU Goat and his gal are definitely social butterflies, moving around, drinking a little bit, partying a little bit, which I like. You guys know that. R. Thomas is probably not a guy that's going to go out drinking and partying. That's cool. Let's see. Bob Mapplethorpe says, somebody call in for the life of Pete. I'm just babbling. I'm good, man. I don't know if you want to call in, Bob, but you're welcome to, bro. Seriously, though, I know you were just making an idiom joke there, but I wish that Pete would call in. I wish that Pete. See if I can actually call. Can I call Pete? I used to know his number. Let me see. I don't think I have Pete on here. Shoot. I'm talking about Keller Dog. I would love to have Keller Dog on the show. Dang it. Hey, if Boa's Great is on here, he was on here earlier. I'm going to see. Maybe you could get him on the horn. 'Cause I know Bo is great knows it. I'm going to send Bo is great a message right now. Me and Pete have gone back and forth. Would somebody tell me why when I type Pete into my my phone, it actually pulls up Pete Thamel's number? I don't remember having ever spoken with Pete Thamel. Why would my phone have Pete Thamel's number on it? Do you have any idea? Oh, snap. Okay. There we go. Okay. I don't want to out you unless you want to on the chat, but one of our chatters just messaged me and gave me the number. I wonder seriously though, dude, if he'll even talk to me. Let me sorry guys, I know this is really fascinating here. I'm gonna text Killer Dog. No, he's not in my phone. Because I just typed this number in and oh no, there it is. So I sent him a text. We'll see what he says, bro. Oh, that's funny. Oh man. Call Pete Thamel. I don't even know how that number's. I cannot remember having ever spoken to him. Maybe he texted me one time or something. I don't know. If it was a really long time ago. All right, so we've got a text into Keller Dog to just kind of see what's up. Me and Keller Dog have kind of a stormy relationship. I do kind of like him, like in a way. I actually met him and his son at a basketball game. Not too long ago, a year or two ago, and enjoyed it. Had a good time. And then it just seems like he talks a bunch of shit about me. But when he contacts me directly, he not on text but on DM, he's always just like, you know, I back you up and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know that. I've not seen that. Let's see. JS Lowry says, "Were you behind the ATM stories?" Dude, no, no. Have I ever done that? I feel like there have been a couple stories that I've been behind, but it wasn't like something like that. It wouldn't have been a story like that. Because there's sometimes, it's been a while though, but there's times when we, like, me and Jay Lee and Brian, sometimes we get to know things that like newspaper guys wouldn't know because of who we are, because of the site that we run. It's a little bit different than a newspaper. And then sometimes we've gone to the newspaper guys to help them a little bit. But it wouldn't have been Thayer Evans or Pete Thamel. Love the Cat says, let's have a weekly feature. Jay calls random contacts from his phone. That's actually a pretty good idea. Unfortunately, most of the people on my phone are people that you wouldn't, like, you know, why would you care? You know? But it might be funny. If you got the right one, it'd be funny. I'll tell you what I was trying to do, though, this is a true story. So I got bombed. It was a couple weeks ago, I think. And my best friend from my freshman year of college, like the closest friend I ever had that was a guy in my life. Like that 1 year of college, we were like BFFs. And then sophomore year, we just kind of didn't get along as well. And then we weren't friends at all by the time we graduated. I actually contacted him on Facebook, and I was like, dude, I want to talk to you about some stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he, like, refuses to answer me. And I've tried to friend him. He won't take my friend request. I mean, we never had that kind of a falling out. Wasn't like I, banged his sister or anything. Or, like, flirted with his mom. Or anything like that. So, I was just trying to get that going again. And obviously, he doesn't want to do that. And my friend, Jacques, was supposed to be the one to get this thing put back together. We were doing this, like, 2 years ago. And then Jacques died suddenly about a year ago, and now I have no way to get a hold of this dude. Would love to get him on the phone. I would love for the first minute I talk to this dude that I've been chasing to try to talk to for 5 years, I would love for it to be on this show because it would be super, super awkward It would be really awkward, and even though you guys don't care, it would still be so awkward that you would enjoy it. Bob Maplethorpe says Jay was gay as a freshman. No, that's not it. He was a great wingman, though. He was a great wingman. It put me in a lot of helped me get into a lot of good positions my freshman year, but no, that is not the story. It would be so good. I also thought about putting my high school girlfriend on the show, too. That would also be one where you don't care about the story, which I wouldn't blame you, but it would just be so weird that you would enjoy it. Like, you would just be like, God, this is so weird. So cringy. All right, so I haven't heard back from Pete yet. I guess he's busy tonight. Who knows? Or he's getting clearance from his guy, Knotted Shorts. Do you think I should answer him? I haven't texted with him since 2018. It's been a while, huh? Horn. What are you and Horn talking about, Jays Lowry? Casey says it's actually Cecil Newton's number, not Pete's. I probably do have Cecil in here somewhere. I don't know if I ever texted with him though. I don't even know why I'm looking this up. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I do have Cecil Newton in here. I talked to him a good amount. That was before that season started. He was pretty cool, and then when it wasn't before the season started. It was early part of the season, and then when all that stuff went down ahead of the Georgia game, then that's when I never spoke to him again. Let's see. Notorious MGM says B-Man almost done running the stairs in the Coliseum. Yo, I want to say something, Notorious. So, they have this Facebook group called Lunch in the Gump, which you probably don't even know anything about, but basically people talking about great places to eat in Montgomery. Dude, so off that recommendation, we've been starting eating at this place called the Pizza Place, which is on Harrison Road. Right there near on Perry Hill, kind of near the VA. A little bit closer to the interstate from the VA. It's called the Pizza Place. Oh my God, it's life-changing. Like, it is so good. Like, every time my wife or my daughter say we want pizza, I always insist that we go to the Pizza Place now. Because to me, it's so good. It's too good. It's the best pizza in town. It's some of the best pizza I've ever had. And I'm super fired up that we have that in Montgomery. I don't know why it took me this long to find this place. But if you're in Montgomery, I strongly suggest you eat there. Or at least get takeout from there. It's a pretty Spartan place to eat, so to speak. I mean, there's not much in there. We usually get it to go. Anyway. Rob D says, wifey and I are enjoying a bottle of Screwball peanut butter whiskey. She likes it. That's all that matters. Dude, I just had that at the Voodoo spot in Mobile. They actually have that on their bar. And I was like, there's no way I'm touching that. And Michael was like, yo, you need to try it. And so I hit it, and although I didn't hate it, I'd probably choose other things with bourbon, but it's not that bad. Notorious MGM, of course, has eaten there. So still good when you get it home? Really good in store? Yes. In fact, I had some just recently. The tall kid at the register, you may not know it that well, but the tall kid at the register, I was like, what's your best pizza? And he said it was the bacon ranch. I guess it's I don't remember what it is. It's like bacon ranch and chicken. And we were like, I'll get that next time. So we got it next time. It's so good. I didn't know those were still doing that sound. Hey, caller. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
What up, JG?
Word. How you been?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Well, I mean, I'm just fighting through one day at a time, as you know, and trying to make miracles happen.
Well, we don't need miracles. Just try to post every day. That's all we can try to do.
Well, you've really come through on that end, man. You've posted a bunch more here lately.
Yeah, I've been more vocal than normal. There's been more stuff, I guess, that I've had an opinion on. You kind of touched base a little bit on it earlier it feels like there's like 1,000 to 1 ratio of opinions between conservative and liberal, and I find myself somewhere in between. And I don't know. I'm not a bridge per se, but just try to get people to see different perspectives, different points of view.
Yeah, I feel like some folks could benefit from that. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get closer to that. Like you and I have talked about, not everybody's open to moving from their position. That part is really sad. I think I said it on maybe one of the other calls. I just don't feel like I know everything about everything. So I'm open to listen to what other people have to say and not just stand on my previous beliefs. Try to educate myself when someone presents something new to me and at least research it and educate myself a little bit. Yeah. But some people don't go that route.
Yeah, I think we've all got just some different, lots of different things in our heads that we just kind of do on instinct, and we don't necessarily sit there and think about them. And I think this is a time in our lives when we all have a chance to kind of challenge some of the thinking that we have in our own brains. And this seems like a good time to start doing some of that.
Yeah, I wish more people would do that. I don't know, somebody was talking and just kind of like using it as an example, just if you've never been to war, no one can really tell you and get you to understand what it's like. You can't really, get that across to other people what that's like. And then you have two people who go to the exact same, theater, and their experiences are different and impact them differently. And I think that's happened a lot today. There are people who've had life experiences that have shaped the way that they see the world. And they're trying to communicate that to people who might not have been through it, so they can't really relate to it. And in the best case scenario, they pause, they listen, there's empathy, and everybody moves to a better place. But like I said, I think we've just seen a lot of cases where people are just locked in on what they believed and are just refusing to move off of it.
A lot of that going on. And also, we have not heard from David the Wizard lately, and this concerns me.
A little bit. David has been quieter than normal. I don't know if that means he is being good and he's quiet, or he's in some serious trouble.
I know, you have to wonder sometimes.
He can't get to a phone. So I'm sure we'll find out one way.
Yeah, I know. I kept hoping that he was going to actually close on. So I know it was a long shot, but I was thinking he might close on Nikki Glazer, but maybe his chances, kind of coming and going. I don't know.
Well, that's probably a good thing if he spaces that out. I think he was on a little hard on the front end of that, so
Yeah, true.
And I'm like, she probably wasn't coming to Atlanta or anywhere nearby anytime soon, so he can play that out a little longer.
He hasn't posted since Sunday, but he was on the site today, so that's good. At least we know he's out
that's
there.
Good. So say he's got internet access, so I don't think they allow that in jails or prisons, do they? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do.
I think he accesses our site from a hotspot normally, I think.
Oh, okay.
One man's opinion.
But he's probably all right. Yeah, he's probably all right.
Are you expecting to go to an Auburn game this fall?
I am not, but that is a personal choice for me. I am in the high-risk category, JG, so
Really?
Physical, yeah. So getting into a big crowd this year is probably not on my agenda. I've had to cancel some vacations, reunion trips with my boys, because I just can't take the risk.
Damn.
Yeah, it sucks because I had a trip to Vegas scheduled. Literally the week that Vegas shut down, I was flying out that Thursday, and they sent out, all the. I mean, I'd canceled my flight by then, but they sent out the email to cancel everything on Tuesday. Had a boys trip for going out for the tournament. We're going to be there for March Madness.
Yeah, you're going to bet on it too, right? Yeah.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Of course. So yeah. So I'm probably not going to physically be at any games, but it would be great if there are games to watch.
To watch, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to be in the house either way. So it would be nice to have football on Saturday and Sunday.
Are you having to be super careful? Like you're staying at home pretty much as often as you can, as much as you can?
Yeah. We don't venture out. We grocery shop, and that's about it.
All right.
Um,
You can work
I
from
think we
home?
might have had. Yeah, been fortunate to work from home.
Right.
Ironically, my job requires me to travel a pretty good bit normally. So I don't know how that's going to work later on, but for now, everybody's off the roads. So it's just been staying at home, just walk the neighborhood. That's about it. Got one friend that's kind of in the bubble, as it were.
Yeah.
We've been to his house, once, and outside of that, yeah, it's been not great, but I'm still blessed.
Yeah,
I'm in a good situation.
Yeah, and of course you're brightening lives here on the show, on the Brain Drain. So I mean, we love that about you.
Well, I mean, that's why I keep telling you. I'm glad to have this. It's a great outlet for me. I'm a pretty social individual in the normal circumstances, so to not get out and hang out is absolutely a change for me. So this is I love doing this part, and that's probably the other reason why I've been a little bit more vocal on the bunker. Got more time to do it because I'm not out and about.
Man, when this all gets back to normal, I mean, I hope you don't leave us, man.
Oh no! Like I said, the calling was just a function of finding out that there was a damn actual number to call in.
Yeah.
Like I said, I listened through the other link for months, and I just thought Super Chat again was something like the platinum membership. I was like, what the hell is a Super Chat? So once, I don't even remember who it is, and I owe them a big thanks for once someone said you actually have to go to the YouTube app, that opened it up, and I was like, oh, now I get it. Now I'm with it. So yeah. So then I was like, I can call in once or twice.
Yeah. And now you call in every week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Everybody looks forward to it.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to having some games to talk about because, like I said, I would just listen to you guys afterwards, and there's a couple of other shows that are going on, so I just bounce between other shows to listen post game. So I would absolutely looking forward to chiming in.
You better not cheat on us this fall, brother.
No, look, I'll be around. Trust me. You'll get tired of me.
Sweet.
I just got to find my spot for post game. I got a good spot on Saturday night. Like I said, after 9 is kind of my sweet spot.
Word, yeah.
I've had enough cocktails, and enough other folks have called in. So
yeah. All right, D Lucky. Another great call from you. You're definitely one of our best. So we appreciate you being part of the show every single week, bro.
Man, I appreciate you having the show. Everybody out there, stay safe and open our hearts and open our minds.
Word. See you, D Lucky.
Peace, bro. See you, man.
One of the really good ones. D Lucky. Open your hearts, open your minds. Just yeah. A lot of things for us to oh my goodness. Wow. Stephen P jumps in with his first super chat ever. He says, happy Saturday night, JG. Always enjoy the drain. What do you think the worry level should be on the potential future sanctions or investigations with Auburn basketball? Great question. So, Oklahoma State, first of all, thank you very much for your super chat. Oklahoma State had a situation that was pretty similar to Auburn's, and they just got hit with a postseason ban for 1 year, which is alarming. That's a pretty big hit because this Auburn program is geared to make the postseason. Without a doubt. I mean, the NCAA tournament, simply qualifying for the NCAA tournament for this program right now is just kind of like a baseline level of performance, and then they're hoping to go deep into it. There's a very important difference between what happened at Oklahoma State and what happened at Auburn. Oklahoma State sat one player for 3 games, was how it handled the situation in real time, like when it was going on. Auburn, on the other hand, sat Austin Wiley for essentially an entire season. It sat D'Angelo Purifoy for an entire full season and then part of the next season. Huge difference on those. I mean, the 2 players involved on Auburn's side, they sat them both for at minimum an entire season. And again, Purifoy also missed like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 games of the next season. So Auburn has done a lot more as far as self-policing. Auburn also agreed to self-imposed some sanctions that I don't know, you guys may not know about. They made some pretty serious changes to, or they limited a lot of their off-campus visits, some of their on-campus visits, on recruiting, things that you wouldn't necessarily see but are important to them. Being able to go out and see some of these players, talk to some of these players, they held themselves on campus for a while. So they have done a whole host of self-imposed sanctions. And I think that's going to matter to the NCAA. Rich McGlynn, who is Auburn's, he and Dave Didion both kind of work very closely, and they run the NCAA enforcement, NCAA compliance office there at Auburn. Both of them former NCAA enforcement guys. They understand the process from the NCAA's perspective. And so I feel like that's one of the reasons that Auburn is so good as far as managing their responses from the NCAA, because they have two guys that were on the other side. So I think Rich, when this was all happening 2.5 years ago, he'd been here a long time before that. I mean, he engineered the Cam Newton response that worked out beautifully. So he's been aware of this the whole time, and he recognized that some stuff had happened that wasn't great. And so he kind of cooked up this response. And I strongly believe Auburn will get sanctioned. I do not think it'll be as bad as Oklahoma State. I think it'll be a situation where BP will have to miss X number of games, whether that's 5, 10, 15, something like that. There may be some more recruiting things get taken away, but I don't think they're going to lose a scholarship, and I don't think they're going to get a postseason ban. So that's where I stand on that one, Stephen P. And thank you very much for your super chat, sir. It's a big one. It's a big one. And thank you very much for supporting what we do here. That's my answer on that one. That's as far as I can go with that. It was really weird. Was it Pat Forty who was writing about the Auburn self-imposed some sanctions. That's an admission of guilt. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of what self-imposing penalties is, bro. It's weird to kind of be in this space where I am now. Because Pat Forty, when I was a young reporter, was like, at that time, and I'm talking about in the 90s, I looked up to Pat Forty. Like, he was the columnist of the Louisville Courier-Journal, and I thought the guy was the bee's knees. But now I look at him, and I'm like, he's a national reporter. He's so far ahead of me, he can't even see me down from where he is. As far as the money he makes and this clout that he has, and everybody from coast to coast knows who Pat Forty is, and very few people know who JG is. So he's done better, no doubt about it. But now I look at him and I think, I don't want that job. Like, I don't want to be Pat Forty. I don't want to do Pat Forty's job. Yeah. D Lucky says an F Pat Forty. Kinda. Again, Pat Forty's a really good reporter. You just don't see it anymore. It just seems like he comes over to Auburn, like his most recent Auburn interaction. He comes over here and basically demands an NOA, which they absolutely have. I promise you, Auburn's had the NOA for a minute. The notice of allegations. Auburn knows exactly what it's been alleged of doing. They have it. We've talked about it on the show before. I know there's some folks that are like, yo. They should be subject to the sunshine laws or whatever to produce that material if they need it, or if it exists or whatever. And I, as a journalist, I'm never going to push for like corporations or the schools to hide things, but I don't understand exactly why they should feel compelled to present that to Pat Forty when he asks for it. I don't see that. I mean, they're not going to give me that when I ask for it. It's going to take a while. So why would they just kick it out like an ATM to Pat Forty? Like, here you go. Shit. Leif says Pat Forty and Rick Bozich are a shell of their former selves. Now, Rick Bozich, I don't know about Rick Bozich. I feel like he and Eric Crawford do a good job there together. But Pat Forty, he's like this national guy now, and look, man, again, he's better than I'll ever be as far as writing and reporting, and he knows a billion more people than I do. And he looks down on me. I'm sure he does. He's like, J.G. Tate, that kid could have been something, and now he's like runs a site on Rivals Network or whatever. Don't care. Love what I do. Like who I am professionally. But I look at Pat now, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why you thought you were going to show up at Auburn and they were just going to give you the NOA. Like, I don't know why you thought that they would just do that. Stupid. Love the Cats. Hornatius says, Jay, you are known coast to coast of Lake Martin. KCC says McGlynn isn't that bad. Not only is McGlynn not that bad, McGlynn is outstanding. I think McGlynn is really, really good at what he does. And I know there's some people, particularly in the football organization, who are not huge fans of Rich McGlynn, but I think it's because he's too real for them. I think Rich just kind of tells it like it is every minute of his life. And some people don't appreciate that. BP does. And Rich is kind of embedded with basketball. That's kind of his thing. And they like him over there. That's a staff of people that talk very straight. BP, Wes Flanagan, Ira Bowman, very, very straight talking people. Chad Pruitt, very straight talking person. Mike Burgermaster, straight shooter. Very little bullshit over there. And that's how Rich is, and that's why I think he gets along with them. Now, not to say that Gus Malzahn, he doesn't do a lot of bullshit talking either, but I feel like some of the other folks, they don't want to have an NCAA enforcement person telling them shit. I feel like BP takes it in a different way than the football staff does. Now, could Rich be a little more diplomatic in the way that he presents some things to some people? Yes, he could. I don't think BP has a problem with that. And maybe some of the football people do. I don't know. One man opinion. Casey, I had to leave that, the AIDS comment, I had to leave that one blocked. Sorry, brother. KCC says, who would be in charge if BP couldn't coach? That would be Wes Flanagan, would be your coach. I believe that's who it would be. So at that point, if BP was like out of commission, so to speak, then you would have Wes and you would have Stephen Pearl and you would probably have, Ira would be right there. And then Chad Pruitt would probably be a bench assistant at that point. So, yeah, that's what you'd be looking at. Wes Flanagan coached at Arkansas Little Rock. So, that dude he's definitely qualified. So I think that's how that would go down. And BP would still be the coach, right? He wouldn't be on the court, right? But he still runs the organization. Would it be Wes or Bowman? It would be Wes, 100%. Wes Flanagan, and I'm not. This is no way ragging on Ira Bowman, who's a very valuable part of the staff. I'm just saying, if it comes to coaching on the floor, if BP were to get too technicals, get thrown out, it'd be Wes's job. Wes will be the one running the show, no doubt. He's been there. He's done it. He's got the experience. Not to say that Steven and Ira or even Chad couldn't do it. They could. I know they could. But it would be Wes. No doubt. All right, let's see what we can do here. We definitely need to talk to Mr. BMAT. We definitely need to check in with Mr. BMAT tonight. Come on. It is now 9:40 Central, 10:40 Eastern. We've been on the air for 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Hello.
Is this Brian Matthews?
Hey.
Hey, it's JG.
What's up?
And your fawning group of people who love you on the chat also.
How's that going?
You're breaking up a little bit. Are you just like chilling at the house?
I am. We're watching Knives Out. Have you seen that?
I have. Wasn't blown away by it, but it was okay.
I'm not yet either, but I'm watching it.
Yeah, when it came out, everybody's like, "Oh, this is one of the great movies of the year," and I went to see it, and I was kind of like, it's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to put you on pause on that, but just wanted to check in with you and see how things are going.
Things are going well. I've been busy today. I mowed the lawn, which is quite a job.
Yes.
And we used our smoker for the first time.
Oh, do you know how to use it?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm learning. And we smoked some chicken thighs, and they turned out pretty good. Not bad for the first time.
So is that the first time you smoked some thighs?
First time I've smoked anything, as a matter of fact.
Did you have somebody to show you what you're doing, or?
No, that's what the internet's for, bro.
Internet? Don't you have a friend who is a connoisseur smoker and he can show you?
I'm sure there's plenty out there, but no, I'll figure out things on my own.
Oh, damn. Okay. So how did it turn out?
Pretty good. Pretty good. We're ready to step up, maybe do some ribs next time and maybe some wings. Eventually work up to the Boston butt. That's got to be like the ultimate, right?
Oh, wow. I don't do any of that, bro. I don't have a cooker. I don't have a smoker. I don't have a even in our new house. I don't have a charcoal grill or anything. We just cook in the kitchen. You know.
Well, we got one for under $200 on Amazon. So
word.
Not like the nicest or fanciest, but it got the job done.
We have been talking a little bit here lately about what we think is going to go down as far as will the NCAA punish Auburn significantly in basketball for the sins of its past? Your thoughts on that?
I'm beginning to think it's going to be harsher than people were expecting. Yes.
Interesting. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, I look what they did to Oklahoma State, and I look at Oklahoma State's reaction, which was, "Oh my goodness, how could they do this to us? We are absolutely appealing it." And I just wonder if Auburn's not going to have the same reaction to whatever NCAA hands down to them. I mean, that's just my feeling on it. It's hard to predict because NCAA can be so
weird.
Yeah, and treat different things that seem similar, totally different. Yeah, it's just really, really difficult to guess. But because of what happened at Oklahoma State, I'm sort of leaning now toward they can throw the quote unquote book at Auburn, so to speak.
I mean, I know they want to. I know they want to hit BP, but I feel like Rich is so sharp and shrewd with the things that he does that he's going to keep them. He's going to keep that from happening.
Well, that's a good point too. Good point. So
I know you think Rich is a pretty damn shrewd dude, right?
Very smart and very good at his job.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. Canoe Man was asking, what are your thoughts on how many fans will be inside the Auburn Arena next season? Do you think it'll be full? Will it be close to full, or will it be sparse?
I think there's more worry right now about it being in an enclosed space, like the arena, compared to being out in the open like Jordan Hare. So unless we get like a vaccine, that everybody works and, everybody trusts, I just don't know how it's going to be a lot of people in there.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. Because we were talking earlier, I think Jordan Hare, they're only planning to have about 15,000 people in Jordan Hare this year.
So that's what percent? 15 of 85,000 or whatever. Anyway.
What, 20%, something like that? 15%?
Yeah, something like that.
So if Auburn Arena holds 9,500, that's going to be like 1,000 people or 1,200 people or something like that.
Something like that, spread out. Yep.
Yeah.
That stinks because that arena is such a great home court advantage. Of course, everybody will be dealing with this. So it won't be just Auburn, but still.
Absolutely.
That stinks.
I kind of wish it was basketball season. It really hurts me that we missed the second half of the basketball season, that we didn't get to see the postseason.
Yeah, and then Auburn played its best game, the final game that we got to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, went up to Tennessee and whooped that butt. And they were. I think they were going to make a run the SEC tournament and maybe get a rematch with Kentucky and maybe win another championship.
That would have been fun to cover.
It's very possible. The other thing I'm curious about is what are they going to do with us? Are we going to be there in person? Are we supposed to just watch it on TV and talk to people on Zoom afterwards?
You talking about football or basketball?
Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the beat writers. How are they going to do this?
I don't think you're going to interview anybody this season, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I should say it. I mean face-to-face. I don't think we're going to have any face-to-face interviews this whole year.
So we may never go over to the complex or the arena or anything?
May not.
We may not have a reason to go to campus at all. That's really weird to me. That's really strange.
I'm just saying, if you're being real about it, though, they're not going to want to run the risk of having Bo Nix get the COVID from one of us, Which is going to be weird for us doing interviews.
We're more at risk as far as our age-wise.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you're probably right there. That's probably the best way to do it.
Start chewing on that, brother. Hey, I didn't even think about it until Neil McCready asked me about it last week, and I thought, oh, shit, I don't know.
I wonder what they're doing, like in the Bundesliga and the Premier League. I should find out about that.
Yeah, post-game. I don't know what they're doing.
Interviews and stuff, yeah.
They don't get it. They don't get the same access that we do, though. Like, they don't get to talk to Lewandowski and all that stuff. They don't do that.
They have something. I don't know what they call it, but it's where they they have a place where the players walk off the field, and so players can make the decision on whether or not to stop and talk with them. And then they also have like I'm talking about the Premier League, and then they'll have like like more formal interviews with the coach and maybe a player or two.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably about it, unless there's more I don't know about. That's what I've been able to gather just from watching the Premier League.
It's almost time for Prem League to pick back up, brother. It's next weekend.
Yeah, it starts Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
You got Liverpool and Everton to start? Who you got?
I believe that's right. Yeah, it's at Everton. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that I talked with a former Auburn kicker, Scott Etheridge, the other day, and he is a huge Liverpool fan. So he's pretty fired up about them getting this season started and finishing it off to let Liverpool win the title the right way,
Well, yeah, Scott Etheridge is a hell of a kicker, too.
I'm sure you think that now, right?
Yeah, he was.
No, he was. He absolutely
used to make fun of his size, but he was a hell of a kicker.
Yeah, Pat Dye used to make fun of him sometimes and joke with him, but Pat Dye, I really believed in that guy. So, and he has ended up being a total beast. So, I mean, he's been good after football.
Yeah.
Anyway, baseball. Let's see. So you lost 2 players to the draft: Bailey Horn, Tanner Burns. But now you've got Cody Greenhill coming back to be a starter. You got Steven Williams back. I think you wrote a story today about how it's going to be basically an all-star team in a way.
Pretty much, which is a great problem, but there's going to be a lot of teams like that. So, it's not like Auburn's going to be the only one.
Right.
But I think Auburn's going to be pretty good. Rankin Boyle is most likely to come back. He said he is, but, they're giving him some time, in case he changes his mind. Still possible Matt Shepard comes back. The only thing that is going to happen is you'll probably have a player or two transfer, a player or two in the signing class decide to go elsewhere, go junior college, just because, if the guy they recruited to replace Steven Williams doesn't have a place on the, is going to have to sit on the bench for a whole season, they may want to just go somewhere they can play this year. So you can have a little attrition that way. But still, I think Auburn's going to fill a very, very strong team. And I like the idea of Cody being a starter. He's sort of done some different things, but the way it's worked out for him is they found that he's not effective using him as a closer twice in a weekend. So what they started doing this season was extending his innings when he did come in that one time on a weekend. And I think they were moving him toward being a starter anyway or being a longer reliever. So I think it fits his abilities pretty well, him being a starter. So him and Jack Owen will be 2 terrific guys, and then they've got some young guys, possibly Mason Barnett, that'll step into the other spot.
That's going to be fun, man. That's going to be fun. I bet they will play that season too. College baseball will be played next year, I think.
Yeah, and even talking about possibly pushing the start back of baseball. I don't think that'll be this year, but next year. But I think it may be something down the road to help the Northern Big Ten type teams. But hopefully by then you're looking at maybe we'll be in a much better position than we will be, this fall for football and a little bit later on for basketball.
Word. Anything else I'm forgetting to ask you about, bro?
Not that I can think of. No.
All right.
I guess you could let them know that we're going to start our
top
ranking
20
of the players that are voting. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When are you going to do the first? When were you thinking about doing that? Monday.
Thinking Monday. Yeah,
okay.
Monday would be a good time, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I was talking about. I was talking about that earlier. I didn't obviously didn't reveal any of the numbers, but I was just saying that we've been voting on that. We've got the numbers all tallied up, and me and B-Matt and B-Matt's gonna be the captain of that effort, but me, B-Matt, and Nate King will be doing player reviews here beginning Monday, so that's good. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, we're gonna start at 20, right, and work our way up to 1. Right?
Word, yes, sir. Let's do that.
Okay, very good.
All right, man, you're doing a hell of a job out there. I don't know if I would want to eat your very first time working something on the smoker, but maybe one of these other times.
No, probably not. But give me a few months and I'll have it down pat.
All right, bro. B-Matt, you're doing a hell of a job, brother. I'm glad to have you on the team.
Peace out. Everybody out there, be safe.
All right. See you, B-Matt.
Hey.
There he goes, Mr. B-Matt, one of the all-time greats. Had his first he used the smoker for the first time tonight. I know how that goes. It probably didn't go all that well. back in my other house, I had a little bit more of a backyard, and we started frying up wings, and I got really good at it after about 5, 6, 7 times that I did it, frying them in a turkey fryer, and then our new house. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing it in our new house. Our backyard is so small. I don't really have enough space. Seriously. But anyway, there is something to be said about the learning curve. You'll learn. He'll get better. I'm gonna go over there and see him and Yvonne in about September. See what happens. Let's see what D Lucky. D Lucky says there was a big spoiler in Brian's Sopranos thread today. Dude, that show went off the air in 2012? Canoe Man says B-Man has the cardiovascular health of a 300-year-old. Jimmy Kimbrough said, are you going to talk about AU sports? Dude, we literally were just talking about it. We were talking about baseball team, Jack Owen being back as the ace, Cody Greenhill going to be the 2. They've got several people in line to play 3. Rankin Woley's probably going to come back, although he could very easily go to medical school if that's what he ends up choosing to do, but they think he's going to come back. Stephen Williams, whom Allie referred to as Seth Williams earlier, coming back as well to play the outfield. So lots of good stuff going on with Auburn baseball. The thing is, everybody else is kind of doing that too. I mean, every team in the SEC is going to have a lot of dudes back, so it's going to be like that. Also want to give a shout-out to Webb W., my man. Thank you very much. Says he's just showering some support upon us here with the super chat. Thank you very much for that, Webb W. We share a common friend, Becky and Chris. So, word. I know you're good people since you know them. I am sorry that B-Matt had some spoilers in the Sopranos thread today. Oh, man. I don't know if you guys are in. I listen to this group called Chromeo. I don't know if you guys listen to Chromeo. And they put out, I think yesterday or maybe today, they put out a new record. Well, it's an EP. And it's all songs about quarantine. I think it's called Quarantine Casanova is the name of the EP. And I don't know if you guys are into their music. I am. It's kind of like retro funk. It's like 80s funk. Stuff that Prince would be really fond of, I would think. Ashford and Simpson would like them as well. The Time would like them as well. It's just it's music that I like. Anyway, they had some quarantine songs, and that just reminded me of that. Talking about, we're talking about quarantine. Casey Campbell saying they are 90 feet apart. Ridiculous that they aren't playing already. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys are interested in that. Not in thread. David Chase, who was the showrunner for The Sopranos. David Chase did an interview. Blurb came out today. He let something slip. Oh. Did not know that. Corny asks if it was in a pod. Uh-oh. Well, now I'm interested now because I watched The Sopranos religiously during the last, let's say, 4 seasons. In the beginning, I didn't really care. That show started in 98, in the fall of 98, and I was a Cub reporter at the Montgomery Advertiser getting my ass beat every single day by Phillip and Charles Goldberg, and I was not happy. So I was just at home. Like, I was either working or I was pissed, and I didn't watch it. But I started watching it later, and I was in love with Dr. Milfy. Super hot. She's right up my alley. Rob D says, should see some new baseball studs this season. Hell of a recruiting class coming in. I've told you guys Butch was going to get this done. He's a badass. Caller, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Doing good. Can you hear me?
Hell yeah, I can hear you. Who I got on the horn?
This is Bob.
Bob himself. Thank you for the super chats earlier, Bob himself.
Oh yeah, we'll keep it going.
So do you know Honk if you coached for Bama?
Yeah, and that's what's funny. I was going to tell you, Honk is kind of like me. He likes to stir up a little crap, but he's a genuinely good person. He lives not quite a quarter mile from me up the road here in Anniston. But he only gets on the show like maybe it's about 4:00 in the morning. He'll check on and then get off. So yeah, he's not a regular like us. He's not as obsessed as the rest of us. So he's really a good guy. And once you guys talk, you'll kiss and make up. So everything should be good. I promise.
He thinks that I was rustled. Come on, bro.
Well, no, he likes to stir excitement and shit. So I think he was probably doing a little bit of that on purpose. But once he gets on the show, it'll all be good.
So you're in Anniston, Alabama?
Sadly, yes. I grew up in Opelika.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Opelika and have a lot of family still there. And but now I'm in Anniston and have been here way longer than I thought I ever would have been. But it's a good middle point between Birmingham, Atlanta, and Opelika and Nashville, where my sister lives. So it's kind of, that's the only benefit I can say from living here. So
Call Me Biscuit asks, is Bob alone this week? I don't know what that means. Are you alone this week, Bob?
Well, here's the deal. My wife and son went to the beach this week with
without you?
Well, I was too busy. I had too much work going on. I could not leave.
What do you do?
So,
do you build rockets?
No. I basically I buy commercial property and either fix it up or sell it. And I've got 2 properties at JSU where Booby Whitlow was supposed to go, but who knows what happened there. But anyway, I've got some property that we bought, and we're in a time crunch to fix up before August, before the students get here. So I just couldn't leave. It wasn't possible. So anyway, I'll make it up to them later.
Okay, very good.
So,
anything pique your interest on the bunker this week, Bob? I know you're a guy who I feel like you're kind of in the middle of the LEA, Ball ZFG. It seems like you have friends on both sides of that dispute, and even the Pearls too. I don't know how you feel about all that.
Well, it's kind of funny. I'm kind of buddies with all of them, and I don't really take sides. I never comment on any of their posts about all that crap because I don't really care about it.
Oh, okay.
You and I can start a new one called the Biscuit Makers. I don't really care, but yeah, I'm buddies with all of them. But
yeah,
I'm not going to join. I'm not going to join a damn thing. So,
but do you think it's wrong to floss about how rich you are? The way that Knotted Shorts did today, like showing his entertainment complex in his backyard, to me is a little gauche. That's just my opinion.
No, here's the thing: if you sit down with Shorts, which I think you have,
I have, yeah,
and if you're a friend of his, it's kind of very innocent because he when you sit down and get to know him, he's not flaunting that crap. He's just kind of like, hey, here's me, and. So he's not trying to flaunt it. He's just saying, "Hey, look at this, guys." So I don't know. No, it's not a bad thing for Shorts. So
what else is on your mind, Bob himself?
I guess the one thing on my mind is everybody getting very comfortable about getting back up and running, and then seeing whatever numbers you choose to believe, and thinking that, but I'm pretty much of the idea that no matter what happens, I mean, we've kind of learned that being shut down might be more harmful than anything else. So in a world without sports is a world I don't want to live in. So, so I don't know. I think we're going to have some struggles, but bring on the sports, because I'm tired of arguing with DM8, Stump Fan, and Allaire, and everybody else. I mean, anything but that.
Yeah, Ayler's he's something else. I had to give him a band today, Bob.
Well, I mean, look, and those guys are good guys. That if they weren't there, we wouldn't have anybody else to hate. And I don't say hate, disagree with, but sure. But you got to have those people that poke you every now and then. But anyway, one more question.
Yeah, I got a question for you too.
Okay. Have you since last week, have you had any opportunity to ask about Puka Robertson?
No, I have not. I mean, Puka is a guy that I want to ask about, but I haven't done it yet.
All right. Here's one thing starting to happen out on the end of my road at County Road 16 in Chambers County, there's George's Farmers Market, which is named after
Puka, right?
Puka.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're starting to do concerts here and there. And they've got corn to pick, they've got blueberries, all this other stuff. So anyway, that'd be a cool place to come for a visit. But I tell you what, I will do some research for you and give you some stories. But you know, I guess Benji Rowland, he's in Auburn right now. He's still I think he's a drug rep there, right?
Yeah, has been.
Yeah, and he has a ton of stories about Puka and other football players. But I'll come up with a list for you. I'll get you started, and then get you pointed in the right direction. Because, like I said, that will give you an encyclopedia of knowledge.
Word. My question for you is: you, as a resident of Anniston, Alabama, have you eaten at Betty's Barbecue?
I have. It's been years since I ate there, and when I first moved here in '92 from Opelika, there was another barbecue place.
Dude, you made it sound like you
North
moved there like
Quintard.
5 years ago. It was like freaking 35 years ago. It feels like.
Yeah, no. I said it. I was surprised I've been here so long.
Oh, word. Yeah, you've been there a minute now, bro.
Yeah, but I still went back to Opelika every week when I was in high school. So,
all right.
Anyway. But now the Betty's has the old goalpost. Basically, they had the old goalpost. Old North Quintard has a neon sign of I think it was Alabama-based football kicker kicking a football through the uprights, and they went out of business. And Betty's bought that and put it out front. But yeah, Betty's is good, but I'm not gonna try and be an ass here, but when you cook like Bob does, you don't go out to eat. So we don't go out. We don't go out to eat much.
She just wants to put the taste of the South in your mouth, though, buddy.
Yeah, I'm.
Am I right? Am I right?
But I understand. But I don't like to go out to eat anymore because I'm disappointed every time.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't happen for me, dude. I don't have the skills that you do, sir.
Well, look, I know you're in Montgomery. You're just right down the road, but
right down the road, yes, sir. We're like 3 counties away. But yeah.
No. I'm normally at the farm in Chambers County, north of Auburn. So anytime you want to come cook out on my shitty grill, you're welcome to have some good food.
But you say you're good. The quality of the grill doesn't necessarily matter. If it's the right grill and it's the right chef, everything's going to be okay.
Well, my family, we're very rigid and stubborn on changing out grills. So the one we've had now is probably at least 10 years old, and it's like falling apart. But it's seasoned just right. We know how it cooks, but it's time to do another one. But so we'll go that route and do it soon. So anyway, but we're always here if you need a meal other than takeout.
I may hit you up on that, Bob. You better watch out, bro.
We'll do it. You have to drink some of our bourbon and spend the night you come here. So
I have to spend the night?
You have to.
I don't know if I want to be that close to Honk if you coach for Bama, because I think he has mean things to say to me. So that would be bad.
No, that's at the farm. He lives next to me in Anniston. That's the farmhouse I'm talking about.
Okay, I got you.
So you can send him nasty DMs all night, and he can't even come down the hill and cut your throat.
Do you think he could whoop my ass?
No, he's not into that. He's more into poking shit. He won't actually start an altercation. He likes to provoke conversation. I think.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you. I'm glad we got this straightened out, Bob.
Exactly, but no, he said he had his daughter this week, so he was not going to call tonight. But he said he would call it next weekend, and
okay.
I'm going to push him all week to do so.
The phone lines are wide open, waiting for him to call anytime, bro. You know that.
I know, and in his defense, he didn't know. He, like I said, he's on for a couple of minutes in the mornings, and he's off. So he wasn't. I don't think he was trying to give any crap. But what we're going to do is next Saturday he's going to call in, maybe sitting by my side. So I'll make sure he does it.
That'd be better.
And yeah. So I'll always be in defense of you in the show.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. We need defenders.
All right. Well, hey, and sometimes, sometime soon, if Fig Jam or Power Man will take me fishing at Lake Martin, maybe we can bypass the farm. You can come up there. But if somebody doesn't take me fishing soon, I'm gonna blow a gasket. I'm just telling you.
Okay, I'll see if I can do something because I have a little bit of pull with Power Man. I can do that.
Yeah, well, tell. No, they already know I'm ready. They're just waiting on the right time, whatever that is. So.
All right, we'll make it work.
All right, well, good deal, Jay. Thanks a lot.
All right, Bob, you be good.
All right, you too.
There he is, Bob himself, also known as Bob Mapplethorpe on the bunker. One of our good posters. Kind of a stream of consciousness poster. Also a stream of consciousness caller. But we love him just the same. A tremendous poster, Bob Mapplethorpe. While Bob was on the horn, we got a super chat from Riley B. It says, keep up the good work, bro. Thank you very much for your support, Riley B. I think it's your first time super chatting, if I'm not mistaken, and we love it either way. But thank you very much for doing that, being part of the show, and also for super chatting. It's outstanding. Canoe Man's eyes perked up a little bit during Bob's interview to say now Bob is inviting JGT for a quote sleepover. I don't know as though he was going that far. Oh, I got confused there. I knew he had a Chambers County connection because he's talking about Puka, which was out in Chambers County, and then he said he was in Anniston, and he made me feel like he'd been there. Shit, I've been here longer than I thought I'd be. And I was like, oh, he's been there 3 or 4 years or whatever. And then he's like, we got here in 92. I was like, oh, shit. Whoa, man, that's almost 30 years ago. Damn. I mean, if you don't like being somewhere, you don't need to be there that long. Of course, I thought I'd be in Montgomery 2 years. And here I am. I got here in 98, 22 years ago. It's been good, though, man. I kind of like Montgomery. I'm just used to it now, I guess. I feel like Griffna is another long-time Montgomery resident. I think she's been here her whole life, actually, and she kind of shits on Montgomery all the time, but she still lives here, and I think that's kind of weak. If she's going to be here like 35 years or whatever, I mean, that's about how old she is, I reckon. She just needs to go ahead and support it. It's just my opinion. I mean, if you at some point when you stay in a city so long, I don't know if that number's 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, you can't bitch about it anymore because it's like you've had all this opportunity. Well, I take it back. If you're a kid, like my daughter, who's 18 now, if she wants to say Montgomery's a shithole, which she doesn't actually do, but if she did, she didn't really have a choice. Now, she has a choice here in like 3 months when she goes to Mobile. Good for her. Now she's kind of on her own. She can make her own decisions. But if you're an adult and you've been in Montgomery 25 years and you're still like, this place sucks, that's on you, bro. That's not on Montgomery. You shoulda, coulda, woulda left. I kind of like it here. Of course, I live out in Amsterdam, so, I mean, I don't even feel like I'm in Montgomery, really. I'm, like, so far out here. I'm basically on Troy Highway. It's like I don't even feel like I'm in Montgomery anymore. But it's all good. It's one of the things about the pizza place I mentioned earlier. I love the pizza from the pizza place, but it's a long way from my house. But, man, if the pizza's good enough, if the food's good enough, you'll drive to go get it. I'm going to have another shot. This is for Riley B. This is for Bob Mapplethorpe, and this is for all of our super chatters. Web W. Hell yeah, Steven. And also Hornatius, who has super chatted like 5 times tonight. You're the man. Also to Michael for just making this possible. We're drinking the. Well, I gotta get that turned off, y'all. Hey caller, welcome to the show. How you doing?
What's going on, JG? This is Leif.
Hey, what's going on, Leif B? How you been?
I can't complain too much.
Leif B is
out walking my dog.
Leif B is our guy in Davis County, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this week I turned on the SEC network for the first time, and I can't even remember how long it was. And they had this, they don't have anything to talk about, so they had this piece on Rex Chapman. And my wife and I were watching it, and she looks at me and she goes, wait a second. You mean Rex Chapman is a real person? And I was like, yeah.
He's from Apollo High School.
He's my favorite basketball player ever. I dreamt of being him. She said, I just thought it was some name you made up for all your for all your internet passwords. I was like, no, he's a real person.
That's crazy, man. He's from Apollo High School, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He were you in Lexington? You're probably in Lexington after the whole Rex being in
Yeah,
UK, right?
He was in the NBA when I was in Lexington. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, man. He's just. I remember just growing up in that craziness, and I mean, even here in Owensville, it was just. I mean, you couldn't go to an Apollo basketball game back in the day. You could, but you had to sit through the girls' game beforehand.
So Rex
Packed
Chapman goes from high school hero, probably one of the greatest high school players in Kentucky state history. He goes to Kentucky, plays great. He goes to the NBA. He's okay. And then he kind of gets into some trouble. As recently as like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, he's in trouble with the law and whatnot, and kind of really low. And now he's like rebuilt himself as like this Twitter hero. Like he tweets all kinds of cool shit, and everybody loves him. And I wonder how many of those people know that he's like one hell of a basketball player when he was younger. You know.
Well, see, that's the thing. They had Katie Nolan did a little interview for the piece, and she's like, "Wait a second. You mean the Rex Chapman on Twitter is the real Rex Chapman?"
He's like, oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he went through a bad thing. He was like, I forget exactly how many Vicodin he said he used to take a day.
A lot,
but it was shocking. Like, yeah.
Hey,
but
also you better change Leif. You better change your passwords now, bro.
Oh, I changed them to Ole Miss basketball players now.
Okay,
so,
good.
I mean, hell, can you name me an Ole Miss basketball player besides Marshall Henderson off the top of your head?
Yeah, the dude.
Exactly.
The coach at the coach at Florida is a former
Mike White, yeah.
Mucka White, Buck Flanagan.
Buck Flanagan, yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys. I mean, Brian Tyree. I mean, the guys that are there now, but from the old school, I don't know, not many.
So that's why.
When they were really good in the 90s, they had who was the number 4 power forward?
Ansu Cisse.
Cisse, yes, he was a good player. He's a really good player.
He was a senior my first year at Ole Miss. So
that team was good, man. They were good.
They were.
Rob Evans.
Yeah, I went there the late 90s, and I still say Chris Porter when he was playing and he was focused.
Yeah.
Woo, he was a bad man.
He was the bounciest player I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other Keith Carter, he's now our AD. And I tell people here in Kentucky, I'm like, yeah, you'd really like Keith Carter. And they said, why is that? I said, well, when he played at Ole Miss, he got in a shoving match with Saul Smith right in front of me. And he said, I'll fuck you up, kid. And I was like, that's exactly what every Kentucky basketball fan wants to say to Saul Smith.
Yeah. So Saul was a player at UK when I was a student at UK, and I did not get along with Saul. Saul was he's a shithead. I mean, to be honest with
you. Yes. He used to date a girl from here, and I'd sort of heard that as well from multiple people.
He's a shithead. But here's the thing. His brother, Gigi, who played at Georgia and was a really good player at Georgia, he's a really nice person, Gigi is. So, and they're both the sons of Tubby Smith. So, you know.
Yeah, and their youngest son, Brian, actually went to Ole Miss and played, I air quotes, played basketball there. He was on the team.
He was there, yeah.
He didn't really play much, but.
We got a question on the chat. Canoe Man wants to know who are your favorite Ole Miss basketball players.
Why? So he can break into all my passwords?
All your passwords. That's exactly what he's thinking. Don't answer that on second thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, it's a mixture of a lot of different things.
Word.
But it's. Yeah,
hey, we appreciated you had a lot of background. We were talking about Bardstown bourbon earlier. You knew a lot about it. I know you know a lot about it, so we appreciated that a lot too.
Oh, no problem. I do quite a bit of work at a local distillery here in town, and I hear all kinds of things. So
Okay.
I always keep my ear to the ground, so to speak, to hear
That's a good
about what
idea.
all's going on in the bourbon world. And from what I've heard, I've asked 2 or 3 people about Bardstown Bourbon Company, and they say that it's a new company that's trying to get off the ground, and
Yeah.
they're doing lots of private labels. So
It's good. It's tasty, man. I'll tell you that. All right, Leif B.
yeah,
You're one of our good ones. You're always a good late caller for us. So we thank you for that, sir.
yeah. All right, buddy. Y'all be safe.
All right, Leif. See you, bro. There he is, Leif B. One of our friends from the Rebel Groves site, but a good dude overall. Real good dude. Ole Miss or Auburn, doesn't matter. Call Me Biscuit says Leif sounds like Papa Bear out walking the dog. I think Leif's significantly younger than Papa Bear. Not shitting on Papa Bear or anything, but yeah. That was pretty funny, Canoe Man. That's a great question. It didn't, because I'm sitting here kind of doing the show. I wasn't thinking it through. It's a funny question though. Oh man, BP4AU's in the house. Says much love, bros. We're gonna beat UGA in Athens, and we're gonna go into the LSU game 10-0. Y'all be good. Boom. That's all you have to say. He says, I'm saying that. I'm out. That's deuces. Okay. It's good stuff, BP. Appreciate you jumping in, brother. I love the cat. Says 1 a.m. beaches. It's currently 10:18 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, which means it's 11:18 in the Eastern Time Zone. What is the current time in London? The current time in London is 4:19 a.m. So we made it to 4:19 a.m. in London, bro. Get you some of that, big boy. I always like Leif calling in, man. Leif always has me. He reminds me of the old days, man. Just as far as I spent some really, really good weekends in Owensboro hanging out with my friend Alan E. and some of our fraternity brothers. And he always talks Kentucky basketball, at least in a passive sense. And yeah, I used to, of course, you guys know I'm a graduate of Kentucky, and I was there 96, 97, 98, which is 3 really good years to be there. They were in the Final Four all 3 of those years. 96, they won it in New York. 97, they lost it in Indianapolis to the Arizona team that had Mike Bibby and Jefferson and all those fuckers. And then they won it in 98, which I was there for it. They beat Utah with Keith Van Horn and Andre Miller. Let's see, Matt N., who's had funny stuff all weekend, says another good Saturday night. Thanks, JG. You bet, man. Thank you for the super chat, sir. You're always here for us, too, and it's very much appreciated, sir. BP4, I'm down to make a bet on us being good. Wow. What are you, like an Obby Laker Jr. now, huh? Leif B says denim. Yes, they had the denim uniforms. I think that was in 96. I actually owned a pair of simulated denim UK shorts at the time. And I still own one of the they won the title in 96, and I still have a Maker's Mark bottle. It has the denim Maker's Mark sticker, and then it has the white wax top. So that was good. We're keeping it. I don't know why, but we still have one. It probably goes for about $30 on the market, but I still have one for some reason. It was a big deal at the time. Back in those days, Maker's Mark didn't make special bottles very often. Now they do it like you can probably pay $20 and get one for yourself. But back in those days. Mm-hmm. Look at BPAU. He really is Obby Laker Jr. He says, give me something realistic. I'll go 9 wins for a hundo. He actually wants to take some action. Hey, also, by the way, spoiler alert, Obby Laker ain't paying shit. Like, he ain't going to pay you guys $1. Yeah, you ain't getting a nickel, brother. No, you ain't getting a dime, brother. and then Sonny Galloway actually did get him for some dimes. He didn't get a bunch of money, but he did get some money. You ain't getting a dime, brother. I can't even imagine. I bet Jay didn't even say that. I can't imagine Jay saying that. Whatever. Carrie J in the house. Do you think Tank gets the start in the opener War Eagle from the Music City? First of all, what's up, Carrie J? Do I think Tank gets to start in the opener? No, I don't. I think you know how Gus is. He loves trying to reward the seniors, and I don't even know if Tank. I don't necessarily think he's the best tailback walking into campus. I think he has the most long-term potential, no doubt about it, and I happen to believe in him, and I think he's going to be a really good player quickly. But first game, probably not. I think they'll just kind of work him in slowly, as he has done in the past. I have this weird suspicion they're going to try to start Malik Miller. He's like the new Cam Martin. I mentioned that on the rundown the other day. We were talking to Jay Lee about it up at Voodoo. Canoe Man says, rumor is that Florida is going to go with denim football pants. Oh, man. KCC says, moving to Adolph Rupp, autograph makers, pray for me. Uh-oh. Don't open it. J.S. Lowry says Malik Miller gets the start. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's the way that Gus operates, right? He'll be like, well, he's a senior. He's been here like 17 years. He's pretty good. Okay. They'll give him like one carry for 2 yards and then move on. Well, that's Mark Anthony, or that's Shivers, or that's somebody else. Tank's going to be a good player, guys. He's going to be good. He's a really good player. He's as good as you can go out and get. He may not have been the number 1 rated tailback in the country. I don't know where he was, actually. In fact, I'll take a look at it right now. Let's take a look. I probably should know this, but Cartavius, they call him in the Rivals database, he's Cartavius. Cartavius Bigsby. He is the number 5 tailback in the country. He is the number 45 overall player in the country. So, number 5 tailback. Behind Zach Evans, that Auburn pulled its offer on him. He's got issues. DeMarcus Bowman goes to Clemson. Kendall Milton goes to Georgia, who's from California. Good for you. And Marshawn Lloyd. And Auburn was on all those kids. At least talk to him. They were on Roydell Williams, who's the number 7 player. Ended up at Alabama. I'm just looking through a lot of these kids. Savion Morrison, the number 14 player from Edison High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been there many times, played there. I played there as a visiting player. Baseball every single year. He went to Nebraska. It's hard to believe that Edison would have a kid that good now. Isaiah Jacobs, the number 19 player from Owasso, Oklahoma. Another place near Tulsa. Goes to Maryland. God bless those kids. Anyway, Auburn was in on all these kids. Zach Evans, DeMarcus Bowman, Kendall Milton, Marshawn Lloyd, and Cartavius Bigsby. Auburn was in on all 5 of those kids. Those are the top 5 tailbacks in the country. And they ended up getting Cartavius, a.k.a. Tank. He's going to be a good player. Let's see. Who y'all talking about? Evans will never play a meaningful down. Talking about Zach Evans. He's, he reminds me of that Willie Williams kid that played linebacker. Was he linebacker? Many years ago that they actually sent home. He was on an Auburn visit and was just acting a fool, and they sent him home, and he ended up signing with like Miami and ended up at Maryland or something like that. Leif B says his wife is from Owasso. Man, I'm telling you, dude. So I left Tulsa in 90 when I went to school in Kentucky, and Owasso at that time was just like some not even a half-baked, like sort of kind of rednecky suburb of Tulsa. And the last time I went to the Arkansas game out there, which is not the last Arkansas game, it was the one before that, I stayed in Owasso. And Owasso is like all this huge deal now, Leif. It's like a big-ass, like legit town now. It's really, really weird to me to think about that. Owasso was out in the middle of nowhere back in those days. Peyton P says, has anyone ever called you JG Taint? No, that is not something I have been called before. But congratulations, Peyton. That's really creative, brother. Glad to have you on the show, bro. AU Taxman says he was talking about Willie Williams. He was at Miami. Yep. Absolute head case. There's no doubt about that. Didn't Willie Williams complain about being taken to dinner at Red Lobster? It had something to do with the food that he was being served, but I don't know that it was Red Lobster. I do want to say it was like lobster, though. Not Red Lobster, but it was like the lobster. I don't. It was something like that. They sent him his ass home, though. Tubb just had enough. He just had enough. They liked him. They thought he was a tremendous player, but he was a knucklehead. And I think Zach Evans is the same way. He ended up at TCU. Gary Patterson is notably a hot-headed, take no shit kind of guy. I think this is a match made in heaven. Really looking forward to it. Let's see. KCC says, how can I be a super chatter? I believe that is through the... Is that the cat? Is he right here? He wants in, huh? Sam. My kitty cat was like super serious about getting in here. Hey, Sam. There he is. That's my pussy. That's my pussy cat. Sammy. You want to say hello to the people on the show? You like the show? Look at that. Look how happy he is. He loves the show. You want to talk to the folks? Do you have anything you want to say? Is there anything you would like to say right now? Because you were talking up a bunch about 30 seconds ago. Okay, I guess you're just going to sit here and chill, huh? You like the bunker? Look at that. He loves you guys. All right, Sam. That's my kitty. He gone. He's a great cat. We got him in 2007. So he's, what, at minimum 13 years old. We think he was a year old when we got him, so he's 14. But he acts like he's like 6 or 5 or 4 or something. Hornatius says that's a grumpy pussy. He's a grumpy pussy. He's nice at night, but he's not as nice in the morning. Casey, anyway, Casey, as far as super chatting, I think that's something you do through the YouTube app or the site. I know when I jump on Rebel Grove's, the Oxford Exxon podcast that they do live on Thursday nights, when I jump on there on the YouTube, it's got a little logo in the bottom right, and you click on that, and I can send super chats. That's how it works for me. Hornatius says, watch through the YouTube app. Hornatius is definitely the guy I would trust on this. Hornatius is absolutely ahead of everyone in history for number of super chats. And if you guys ever see the crawl, you can see it right there, the top super chatters. I put the little R. It's supposed to be a little star, but it shows up as an R next to our super chatters who have gone a million miles above and beyond. I mean, we have every super chatter is an absolute beast, but those of you who have gone a million miles above and beyond, I put a little R next to you. It's supposed to be a star. You can see Ruxy Poo and Jazzy Joe and Why Not AU, 3 guys who have super chatted just tons of money in their days. I mean, Ruxy Poo and Jazzy Joe and Why Not AU have super chatted probably 20 times each, if not more. And then Hornatius is in the same deal there. So we love all super chatters, though. Love all you guys. Hell, I love all chatters. I love all subscribers to AuburnSports.com. I love all you guys. Do an incredible job. Courtney's giving me the wrap it up sign. It's only been 3 hours and 2 minutes, Courtney. What are you talking about? Love the cat says it's quantity, not quality. My man. We haven't had as many callers tonight, and we haven't missed any because those when it calls through, it makes a bunch of noise now. I think I had to turn that back off. I don't know why it changed. It was weird. There was something I wanted to mention though. Oh, it's KCC talking about Rex Chapman. Has the best vertical of any white boy ever. I'm not even sure that's true, but he did have one. He was a good player. He was an insanely good high school player. He was good in college. He's a pretty good pro. I bet he was all pro once or twice. Early in his career, he's pretty good. His block or charge Twitter is crazy. Yeah, he does a good job with that. Stu Pup coming through. I was just talking about people who super chat a lot. Stu Pup is one of our guys that has the R next to his name. It's supposed to be a star, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. He basically super chats every single week, and we love you, Stu Pup. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your support of the show every single week. You're always here. Hornatius says he likes hearing the calls ring. Yeah, they're loud as hell. When that thing hits, it's like, whoa. I don't know if it's like that for y'all, but it is for me in my headphones. I want to say hello to Wednesday Adams. I got one of these the other day. Hell, it's been like a few months now, but I got her at, what was it, Eastbrook? Is it a flea market? It's one of these things. You all see these in the stores or whatever. They have these little pop figurines, but I always love the Addams family. I just love the Addams family. Not necessarily the old Addams family from like the 60s, but the movies. They had one that came out like 91, another one that came out like 93 or whatever. I just always thought Christina Ricci as Wednesday was just so funny, and her brother Pugsley. And I found out recently that Pugsley from the Addams Family movies, his sister's somebody famous. I need to look this up. You guys will be amazed. No, you probably won't be, but his sister's somebody famous. I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. I'm not talking about the old guy. Dadgummit. I'm talking about the movie kid. Ariel Winter. His sister is Ariel Winter, who is from she was the middle daughter in Modern Family. Yeah. AU Taxman says it's a mini mall. It's just like a mini mall. We do have some super chat. One coming through from D Lucky again. Thank you for your support tonight, sir. I think that's like your third super chat of the night. Says again, I say F Pat 40. I'm out. Stay safe. Your thoughts on Pat 40, administrative assistant? Not a fan. She's not a fan. She's probably a fan if she saw him personally, because he's like a tall, thin, handsome dude, but she knows better. Let's see what else we got going on here. Did I get everybody caught up here? Riley Brown. I know I gave Riley Brown the ups earlier. And Sir Hiss saying a long time ago he was drinking that Elijah Craig. It was a pick from Benny's in Chicago. It's pretty sweet. BP4IU is really standing behind this. He wants to take all comers on this stuff. He thinks Auburn's going to be really good this year. There you go, Call Me Biscuit. Just finish off that shot for you, bro. He says, ask administrative assistant at Super Chats. Buy us more time with JGT. Take a shot. Appreciate you. Well, I just did. And I appreciate you, bro. Casey C, as Outlaw 7 says, JGT, have you seen all these UT Texas demands? Opinion. So, the players of Texas have said that they will not be involved in recruiting. These are the players at Texas until they acquiesce to a list of demands, which included dropping the Texas song they sing at all the Texas games, which I reckon has some kind of racist overtones. I don't know that. I don't know the song, so I can't say for sure. But I was kind of inferring that. And a couple other things too. My standard answer on something like that. Let me get to the bottom of this. Texas Longhorns athletes are requesting the removal of the Eyes of Texas as the school song and changes to names of campus buildings in an effort to make the Austin campus more inclusive to the black community. Let's see. Without these changes, athletes said they will not be participating in the recruitment of incoming players or other alumni events. Among the requests are the renaming of 4 campus buildings that are named after Confederate or racist figures, more diverse statues by people of color, a permanent black athletic history in the school's athletic hall of honor, and renaming of part of Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium after Julius Whittier, the Longhorns' first black player. Whew. Well, I mean, I don't know the specifics about Texas. I don't know shit about Texas. I know Darrell Royal's like their number one coach. He's basically their Pat Dye. And would you feel comfortable naming Jordan Hare after James Owens? I mean, he's a pretty cool guy in my estimation. I feel like that's a good idea, honestly. When you talk about the removal of the Eyes of Texas as the school song, I would need to know like specifically what the deal is there. But in general, my answer to these questions, anything in this realm, is that I am not black, so I am not an authority on what they should be thinking, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not in position to really know, and I would defer to their expertise on that, honestly. And some of my friends were we were talking on a friend chat I had the other day about the Confederate flag thing in NASCAR, where they were going to ban that. And my friends were like, yo, is this a big deal? And I thought, I mean, it is a big deal because I think that the Confederate flag, if you go to a NASCAR event, you will see the Confederate flag. It's kind of a thing, but, I don't know. It just seems like the right move to me. I mean, hey, Pop, you want to come on the air, Pro? Come here, buddy. Come here. Hey. Oh, look at him. Look who it is, guys. It's Maverick. It's Maverick the Pug. Mav, say hello to everybody. Hey, what's over here, bro? Look at this. Hey, what's over here? This is Maverick, my baby pug. He's almost a year old now. You want to say hello, Mav? Mav. What is this? Hey, Mav. Can you say hello to everybody? Maverick, can you say hello? What do you think, bro? Mavy. All right, bro. He seems a little scared of the lights or something. I don't know. Huh? Maddie says, hey. She wanted to say, said, tell everybody I said, hey. Word. You want to come talk? No. Why didn't you go out tonight? You don't look sick now. Okay. There's Maddie. There's my daughter, Maddie.
Everybody.
Show them your shirt.
You can see it.
There, you're wearing your South shirt.
I am.
Are you excited?
I am really
When are you going to get your list to your mother about the shit you need at college?
Friday by 3 p.m.
I think you can do it before then. All right. Let's see. Look at that son of a bitch. He technically is a son of a bitch. That's true. Let's see. Canoe Man says, JGT, could you broadcast next week's show from your pantry? I would have to get clearance from my man Gabriel on that one. Hornatius says that dog won't even look Jay in the eyes. Look, that dog loves me. Absolutely loves me. I hang out with him all day, every day. If you guys haven't ever had a pug, excuse me, they love being like up on you. They love being up on you. Corny Mofo says, I don't like the Confederate flag, but should it be banned from T-shirts, front tags, tattoos? I mean, no. I'm not in favor of banning stuff like that in general. I mean, if you're into that thing, I found out something interesting today. I have not looked this up because I just don't care, but I am going to look it up at some point. I read it on the Facebooks, which means I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to pass it along here, and you guys can straighten me out if it's not true. That the Confederate Army, per se, with the stars and bars, was really only a thing for a very short period of time. Like, we're talking less than 10 years. I don't know the truth on this. I'm not pro or anti. I don't know. But my thought on that, this is just me, JG, talking, because I don't really like to piss people off that much. I know you guys like to joke, say, well, JG's a mod, and he's a dick, and he banned me one time. I don't really like pissing people off, particularly customers, but anybody. I mean, there are people who really don't like that Confederate flag. And so that for that reason, I don't personally feel any kinship to it. My people are all Southern Kentucky, for how Southern that is. All of my people are from Kentucky. I'm sure that I've got people. I mean, first of all, my grandmother's parents are all Lees. We come from that line. I was told that I'm kin to General Lee, although I don't know if I am or I'm not. No one's really proven that to me, and I don't care. But I don't. If people don't, if my black friends find a problem with the Confederate flag, then I just don't. It doesn't matter to me. I've never felt a kinship to it anyway. But even if I did, and my black friends were like, "This really bugs me," I'd be like, "Okay, then I'm done with it," because I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me. Now, you guys may feel differently about it, and that's cool. If you guys want to put it on the front of your car, I don't see a problem with that personally. I wouldn't do it, but you can do it. I don't see. The First Amendment allows you to do what you want to do like that. I try to be sensitive. I try to be. I'm not saying that I'm always doing a great job at it, but I'm trying to be. And kind of like what D. Lucky was saying, man, I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to keep my mind open. And I'm trying to think about the things that I hold sacred in my head, the things that kind of push me along in life, the things that I just assume about people and things. I try to think more critically about it. Why do I think this? Why do I assume this? Et cetera, et cetera. This stuff's hot, but it's damn good. We've hit it pretty hard tonight, really. I mean, if you can see, we've hit probably a quarter of it. But I mean, it's 122 proof, y'all. It's not like I'm drinking water here. I'm not drinking Michelob Ultras here. KCC says most people do not care about flags. Seriously, I mean, I care about the American flag. But like, for instance, here's the deal with it. You guys don't have to listen to me. I'm a sports reporter and, well, sort of, and I'm a message board moderator, so I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. But I love Rage Against the Machine, right? One of my favorite bands. And they somewhat frequently burn flags on stage. They did it at Woodstock 99, one of my all-time favorite sets. Of any show I like to watch, it's probably Rage Against the Machine at Woodstock 99. And they burn a flag. And I'm not a fan of it. I don't love it. I would not do it myself. But, like, it doesn't make me hate them, and it doesn't make me like the music less. Like, that's their way of saying I'm pushing boundaries. Now, for Tom Morello and Zach De La Roca, maybe that's something that it probably means more to them because they're black, and I'm not. But I can separate them burning the flag from me enjoying their music and understanding what their message is. Holy shit. Pocket Watch says he was there for the Rage set. Corny Mofo says burning the flag should be allowed. I mean, I feel like it has to be. But that is definitely something that would be under the First Amendment. Now, is it something that I would do? No. But I don't. If they're doing it for the right reasons, I don't even look down on them for it. Like, hey, that's the way that they express themselves. I'm cool with that. They're not burning my flag. They're not burning the one that I own. They didn't take it from my house to burn it. You know? This is kind of what they were pushing for. I mean, So, Love the Cat says, never owned or flew a rebel flag. Many friends have, but I never have felt the need to do that. you can only make one first impression, and I feel that's not the impression I want to make. Which I think is a pretty interesting statement. I mean, a good statement, a profound statement from a guy, Hornatius, who likes to throw shit around on the bunker, just kind of for effect. He's a really good dude in real life. And he says that he's thinking about that, you know. I think it's good. Now, I have never flown. I've not cared about it. A Confederate flag doesn't mean anything to me. I did have a almost like for fun. We were doing travel soccer. I know you're going to be like, JG, how do we go from Confederate flag to travel soccer? Because I thought it would be fun. We would fly a flag. Dadgummit, which one was it? It was the one that says. It was not a Confederate flag. It was one of the Texas flags. Sorry, I've been drinking and I'm not quite as sharp as I normally am when I'm drinking. Come and take it. I flew a come and take it flag, which is a flag from the city of Gonzales, Texas. The short story there is the city of Gonzales, Texas was gifted a golden turret, like a cannon, from their friends that are right across the border from Mexico. When the war broke out, their friends from Mexico said, we want the cannon back. And the people in Gonzales said, fuck you, it's our cannon, and we put it in the middle of our city, and if you want it, well, you can come and take it. And so it resulted in some fighting that went on, of course. And so they had a flag that had a cannon and a star above it, and it said, come and take it. And I thought it would be a cool flag to fly at soccer games, because it's funny. I mean, I don't know. It kind of has that rebel spirit, and I thought our team kind of had that rebel spirit, and so I flew the come and take it flag. And they banned me from flying. I swear to God, the people said I couldn't fly it anymore. That, and I also had a pirate flag. They said that was anti-Christian. I have no idea how pirates are anti-Christian, but they made me take both flags down. Now, I did get like a full season in before they did this, but so I guess technically a come and take it flag is a rebel flag. But so I've flown that. And there's probably people that take offense to that. I don't know if there maybe were some Mexican friends of mine that saw it and were aware of it and were like, that's bullshit, but they never said anything to me about it. So I don't know. Outlaw 7 says, I would love to see people relax and talk about this. Makes me sad if everyone says I am doing this no matter what. That's kind of the thing, man. Like, don't do things just because you're going to do something no matter what. Unless it's like, you know, people are going to talk shit about my wife. Well, then I'm going to stop that no matter what, right? Yeah. But other stuff, no. Woodstock 99. I wish I had been there, Pocket Watch. I'm actually really jealous, dude. Daniel N. in the house. Daniel N. I thought that was you earlier, bro. There was somebody in the chat super early on that was like Daniel. I've lost it now. I thought it was Daniel N. Now I see that you're using your full name. And I was like giving him love like it was you. My bad. There's a guy that works in IT at RDL. I don't know what that is. It went to high school with Tom Morello. Fun fact. I did not know until this week that Tom Morello's mom's white. I had no idea. He showed a picture of her. Corny Mofo says, I didn't like a frat because of their reference to the Confederate flag mid-'80s. You know who? Yeah, I do know who. Because for me, at my school, I went to Transylvania University. I was down to two. Well, I was down to three fraternities at the end. Pike, which I ended up being a Pi Kappa Alpha, the Phi Taus, and then the KAs. The KAs were big into the Confederate flag when I was there, and they may still be. And I like those guys. I always like those guys. They were I hung out with them a lot, but I just kind of felt like that Confederate flag was kind of like something that they got that I kind of didn't get. Again, I'm not hating. I never said a bad word about them. Like if they wanted to fly that, I'm not going to hate on them about it, but I'm not going to do it. The flag doesn't mean anything to me. Hornatius says, do the damn truffle shuffle. I'm not going to do the truffle shuffle. Anyway, Daniel N. Sorry, bro. I was giving away love meant for you to somebody else earlier in the show, and I hate that. But now I know. I should have known. I should have waited for that Palmetto gif. That way I know it's you. KA has a cannon in front of their frat house in Auburn. That is absolutely true. I drive by it somewhat often when I go up there. I'll tell you all a funny story. So let's see, I'm a senior in high school, University of Tulsa. I'm partying. I'm a high school senior, but I'm partying at University of Tulsa. And I'm hanging out at the Pike House, which is next to the KA house. Or maybe 2 houses down, whatever. The KA guys were friends with the Pikes, which kind of ended up being part of the reason why I was friends with KAs when I was a Pike myself at my school, just because they were friends at Tulsa, and I kind of learned that way. But the Pike, like, my guys were like stoners. Pikes at my school were stoners. KAs were like, they liked Confederate flag and shit. We were friends, whatever, brothers in arms, however you want to look at it. But anyway, at Tulsa, so I went to a party this one time, and the KAs loaded up their freaking cannon. I swear to God, I guess this is before the internet, so I don't know how they figured this out. But they figured out how to shoot their cannon. They figured out how to actually load a cannon. I mean, I know you put a cannonball in the cannon, you know, and you see it on like Warner Brothers cartoons. You like light the little stem, and then it burns down and it blows up. It's a little more complicated than that in real life, right? But these fuckers had actually figured out how to fire a cannon. They fired the fucking cannon into the Kappa Sigma house next door, which at that time in my life was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. They were like, we're going to fire this cannon, dude. And it actually fired. And it actually caved in like part of the Kappa Sig house next door. Fortunately, nobody got hurt that I know of. But it was really something to see. To fire a freaking cannon, dude. They had actually gotten like the gunpowder and all that shit together, which is... Corny Mofo says, what's the difference between flying the Nazi flag and glorifying their deeds? Man, I'm not even going to touch that. Let's not do that. Pocket Watch says that is actually really awesome. I've never seen it since. An actual cannon fire a cannonball. I've never seen it, but it does work. It can work. And I knew right then that I needed to get the hell out of there. Because the next day, my mom and dad are like, oh, my God. Somebody shot a cannon at Tulsa. And I was like, I don't know anything about that. I was there. But don't tell anybody. I like the K's. They're cool. And my friends. Brian Wood, Darren. Sheriff, all those guys. That just wasn't me, man. They would sing these songs about the South will rise again, and I'm just like, we're already here, man. Like, the South's fine. When we were in Kentucky, we thought we were in the South. We weren't really, but we thought we were. People in Kentucky think they're South. They really do. They honestly think they're South. Like, and until you get down here. Now, when I'm down here, I've been down here since 98. I look up at Kentucky, and I'm like, you guys are like basically North, you know. But they think they're South. Pocket Watch says, I don't understand what you're talking about here. Infinity and O says there's a distinction between recognizing history and glorifying it. Yeah, true. That's true. I mean, I love Rage Against the Machine. I'm so jealous, dude, that you got a chance to see them at Woodstock, which I think was a great show for them. Then it was just the right place for them. I mean, it was just that place was getting a little unruly, and they are kind of, in general, unruly. I mean, come on. It's first of all, it's called the Rage Against the Machine, right? And all their songs are about, like, you know, uprising against hateful government. I mean, it's basically the whole thing. And it's funny when you see people on Twitter like want to try to condemn Tom Morello for this and that and the other thing, and I'm like, he's the guitarist for Rage Against the Machine. Come on. I mean, are you surprised that he's anti-government? Come on. I mean, like, he's the guitarist for Rage Against the Machine. Like, what did you think he was doing? What did you think those songs were about? Did you think Bulls on Parade was about, like, a farm? I mean, what did in Killing in the Name of, do you think when he's talking about some of those that wear badges also wear crosses or burn crosses? What did you think that was a metaphorical phrase? Like, I'm not getting deep into that. I'm just saying. Corny Mofo says, Rage is always a great show. Limp set the show off. You talking about? Yeah. Limp Bizkit absolutely did that. They got things out of control at Woodstock '99. There's no doubt about it. And I remember, at the time, I loved Limp Bizkit too. I did. I did. I look back at it and I'm like, hey, I don't know. They seem kind of artificial now, but when they played Break Stuff, that was about when shit started going bad at Woodstock '99. I mean, Pocket Watch can speak to that better than I can, but Corny Mofo says Rage supports the FBI now, be honest. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Love the Cat says Kentucky is north, southern, midwestern. They don't really know. They think they're southern. They think they're southern and the battles fought there were southern. But to me, they're north. I mean, they look where they are. They're like right against Ohio, which is absolutely north. I mean, Ohio's 100% north. They're also against Indiana. They consider themselves neutral, but they're north. So, I'm just out here babbling. Pocket Watch says during the Limp set, it got dangerously close to falling apart, as in Woodstock falling apart. Yeah. Corny Mofo says he saw Limp Bizkit, Godsmack, and DMX in New Orleans. Was that the Family Values tour? Yeah, they were playing there in 97, 98, something like that. And we had talked about going, but we didn't go. I think Ice Cube was there too. That was definitely in New Orleans, though. KCC says he's out. Thanks for doing this. You bet, Casey. Come back next time, bro. We'll be here on Saturday nights. This is kind of what we do. I don't care how many people are here either. It could be 5. We're just kind of doing our thing. If it's 5 people, it's 5 people. Appreciate you being here, brother. Let's see. Corny says it did fall apart, but it went to hell during the Red Hot Chili Peppers set. Were they trying to get people going? Oh, Hornatius. He says Kentucky only claims to be Southern so they can make out with their cousins. How dare you? That is stereotypical, and I don't like it. Corny says it was 2000, the show with DMX and Limp Bizkit and Godsmack. Interesting. That would not be Jazz Fest if it was in December. Yeah, Family Values Tour in New Orleans in 98 or 99 was crazy. It definitely had Limp Bizkit. It definitely had DMX. It had Ice Cube. It had Rammstein. The other ones are escaping me now. Everything was on fire. There's a podcast that I keep getting served on Facebook that I haven't done it yet about the Woodstock 99 debacle, just kind of how it went from bad to like FUBAR. And I have not listened to it. I wish that I'm going to at some point. I'm interested in that because I really wanted to be at Woodstock 99. Me and Troy Johnson, who covered Auburn for the Columbus Ledger Enquirer back in the day, we had talked about going. But it happened, like the concert was in August, early August, and I mean, Auburn had camp. So there was no way we could reasonably not go to that. So we couldn't go, but we really wanted to go. We had talked about it. See, Corny says our Red Hot Chili Peppers played Fire. They played their own version of Jimi Hendrix's Fire, and they set it on fire. All right. Stu Pup says Californication by the Peppers was one of the last CDs I ever bought. A dream of Californication. Anthony Kiedis, Flea, and the Boys. Good stuff there. I'm trying to think the last CD I ever bought. I think the last CD I ever bought was, the one that I remember was Red Hot Chili Pepper. I'm sorry, Rage Against the Machine live at the LA Coliseum. It's the one that has like the red star on the front. Oh, man. Corny says that he saw a gig with Slipknot, Mudvayne, Papa Roach. Oh, tremendous show in Biloxi. Dude, oh, yeah. Until I Forget by Slipknot. I'd love to see that live. It's good stuff. Hornacious says he saw Liz Phair in the summer of 95. She's pretty hot though, right? Her music's kind of goofy, but she's hot. Hey, no joke though, KCC, I appreciate you, bro. You've got the super chat down now, bro. Thank you very much for your super chat, sir. Excuse me, I got the corona there. Doug Dumpster put up he jokingly said something about Mary Chapin Carpenter the other day. I am not at all into Mary Chapin Carpenter. Personally, her music doesn't do much for me, but she was a hot, spicy number back in the day. Now, I mean, let's not lie about this. She's pretty hot. I started looking up some pictures of her because I was like, is that the chick I remember her being like back in the 90s? She's cute. Plus, she can party, man. She's a little bit older now. She's like 62. But I don't know. I thought she was pretty cute back in the day. I can't really. It's hard for me to show pictures on here. I've been aiming to get a new app on here for the broadcasting so I can show you pictures a little more easily. But yeah, she's pretty cute, I think. Anyway, I can't name one of her songs, but it's all good. Canoe Man says the next week's show, the Commodore sings the classic, My Love, just thinking about you, baby. Sing a little Lionel Richie. I was listening to a classic song you may remember, Canoe Man, earlier today. It was Solid by Ashford and Simpson from 85. I come to find out that Ashford, the male of the group, they actually were a husband and wife team. He died like 10 years ago. Sucks, man. That's for you guys right there. See, Infinity and Zero says that Woodstock in the 90s was the death of the hippie dream, wasn't it? Maybe I'm confused. Hippie dream. Oh, I definitely think it ended up ending some of that stuff, yeah. But, I mean, we can talk about the Chili Peppers set, and we can talk about Limp Bizkit set, but, I mean, Rage Against the Machine set, 99, Woodstock 99, was absolutely insane. That's some of the best rock and roll that's ever been played, I swear. Casey with another super chat. Thank you very much, Casey. You've definitely got this figured out, bro. Outlaw 7. Appreciate you, bro. Post pictures of Jill Arrington, please. Oh, I think I can do that. There she is. Oh, sorry, Leif. There she is, Jill Arrington. I'm telling you guys, if you want to call it that, I had lunch with her. She was eating with me and a couple lady friends. I love how it says horn. I'll tell you what, Hornacious, we'll just leave it there. It says horn. We were at the Georgia-Auburn game, maybe, I don't know, 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere in that range. And Jill Arrington was a sideline reporter. We had lunch with her in the media center. Me and Krista Turner, who covered for the Columbus paper, and Lori Dan, who covered for the OA News, and Jill Arrington, who covered for CBS. We were all kind of having lunch together. And she was, at that time in my life, she was the hottest woman I'd ever seen in my life, like face to face. She was so hot that I just didn't even know what to do. Like, you ever been around a girl who was so hot you were just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this girl is this hot? Like, that was Jill Arrington. Unbelievable how hot she was. She used to be the sideline reporter, Casey. You probably know that. I don't know if you're young or not. She used to be the CBS sideline reporter many, many years ago. And then she became like a local reporter. And then I don't think she does anything now. I follow her on Twitter, and she's just tweeting about her daughter and stuff. She's a really pretty young girl. Leif says there was an interesting podcast about the 99 Woodstock. Thank you for your super chat, Leif. Yeah. I was just talking about it earlier. I haven't listened to it, but I see it on Facebook every now and then. Call Me Biscuit says, "Damn, that was quick. Weird how quick JGT pulled that picture." Yeah, I have it as a source on here. It was from the show a couple weeks ago. I still had it set up. super hot. Like the kind of girl where you're just like, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what to say. Blah, 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 blah. So I just get quiet. Administrative assistant has been sending me texts for the last 30 minutes. She said, good night. It's time for me to go, I guess. Love the Cat says, sorry I got your Jill picture sticky. What do you mean sticky? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't even know what you guys mean. BP4 I use is David the wizard bedded Nikki Glazer. That's comparable. What? No. Jill Arrington's so smoking hot. Way too old, older than you? If she's older than me, it ain't by much. I doubt she's much older than me. She's probably about my age, though. I would guess. Born July 27, 1972. So I was born in May of 1972, so she's exactly my age. She was married to some dude for 13 years, and now she's single, I guess. She's from Conyers, Georgia. I had no idea. And her relatives, it says relatives, Dakota Fanning is a niece. How about that? That's crazy. I had no idea. She was married to four-time NCAA champion diver turned Hollywood agent Dean Panaro. They have a daughter, Presley Kate Panaro, born in 2004. Yeah, her daughter's really cute. I mean, you would expect her to be cute. But Love the Cat says, administrative assistant's digits asking for David the Wizard. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. David, first of all, I don't think administrative assistant is David the Wizard's thing. Not at all. Let's see. Corny Mofo says she looks better than Jay. Oh, God, yes. Yes. She's super, 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 super hot. Super hot. Yeah. She's really hot. Yeah, I'd say she's probably the hottest chick I've ever seen in my life in person. I mean, I saw Bonnie Bernstein one time, and I thought she was really, really hot. I don't know if you guys remember her from ESPN. She hasn't been on TV in like a minute and a half. See, this is the thing. The application that I use for you guys, it's harder for me to show pictures of these people. Bonnie Bernstein, though. She used to be on ESPN. Oh, she's really short. I didn't realize that. I'm not crazy about short. Trying to find a good picture I could size it for you guys and show you. But she used to be on ESPN, and she was really cute. She was a former gymnast, I think, at University of Maryland. And now she's like not really doing anything. Here, I'll just post this picture. Hold on. She looks cute here. You young people probably don't know who she is because you're too young to remember. But I can post a picture of this. Hold on. It's going to be really big, though, when I first start. I got to size it down. So this is her now, right? Hold on. But she was on ESPN back. This has probably been 20 years ago now. She was a gymnast at University of Maryland. She was really cute. She would be second behind Jill Arrington, but she's really cute too. I don't know how you guys feel about Bonnie Bernstein. Wait, is it Bonnie Bernstein? I'm sorry, Leif B says, was it Bonnie Bernstein, the one that Joe Namath made it past it? No, that was Susie Colbert. That was Susie Colbert. Let's see. Love the Cat says, hottest chick I've talked to is Greta Van Susteren. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Call Me Biscuit asks a good question. Do you get a new computer yet? No, haven't done it yet. I keep thinking like, I'm going to get this computer. And then I'm like, well, should I get this other one or should I get this other one? And I can't ever like decide on one. So I haven't done anything yet. I'm still going on my laptop. It's a good laptop. It's a really good laptop. It's a Power Mac. No, I'm sorry. MacBook Pro. Excuse me. Casey Campbell says she's almost 50 and ridiculously hot. I think so, too. And she was a gymnast, too, which tells you she's, whatever. But I think we can all probably agree that Jill Arrington's probably hotter. Anyway. Well, we'll probably wrap it up, guys. I mean, we've been going 3 hours and 45 minutes. It's crazy. 11:11 in the Central Time Zone, 12:11 in the Eastern Time Zone. We've had a bunch of callers today, including Ali and Bob himself and Sir Hiss. And who else called in? Come on, we know people. We talked to B. Matt. We talked to... Who else did we talk to? Come on. Did we talk to Pat Forty? No. Did we talk to Pete Thamel? No. I sent a text to Keller Dog, but he didn't send me shit. I don't know. Call Me Biscuit says call Jill next week. What will we ask Jill? Hey, Jill. Remember when you used to do sideline shows? Remember when you used to do sideline shows? And now you don't? Leif B says, get a new iMac Pro. Sorry, get a new Mac Pro and have them put an Apple II case around it. What? Dude, those new Mac Pros are like $6,000. The actual towers. Whoa. Hornatius, I will not ask her that. Aaron Andrews. Oh, let's see. Stoop Up says Jill Arrington #1. Jen Brown? Jen Brown. I got to look this up. I don't remember who that person is. Jen Brown. Oh, boy. Oh, my. I don't remember her doing sideline, though. Yeah, she's extremely hot. Trying to find an appropriate picture. We don't want to see a baby. No, not really. So this girl used to do ESPN or something? I'm not familiar with this girl. She doesn't ring a bell for me. She's pretty hot, though. She's not pretty hot. She's extremely hot. I think she's short, though. I don't know if that's a problem for you guys. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put up this baby picture just to piss you guys off. Fuckers. All right, we now present Jen Brown. We're going to have to go to the chat to see what her actual claim to fame is, because I don't know this girl. I've not seen her. I don't think she's in oh, they're trying to screw me on the picture there. I don't think she's in Jill Arrington's territory, but if you guys think so, that's fine. You're wrong, but if that's what you want to think, that's fine. Come on, man. I got to go to People Magazine's website to get this picture. Seriously? I don't want to go to People Magazine. What am I, my mom now? Dude, they are really going to actually do this. They're going to make it really hard for me to get this picture. Hold on. I'm going to get it for you guys, though, because I care. I care. She's really cute, though. This is good. This is a worthy addition to the crew. Give me a second here. Sorry. Whoa. No, she's cute. There's no doubt. I hope that you like that baby, too. Look at that little fucker. He's just like chilling. He's like, I don't even know my mom's hot. Let's see. Stoop Up 74 says Jen started ESPN and worked at the 2011 BCS championship game. Real short, has a booty for ages. Unfortunately, booty for days. Excuse me. I can't see the booty from this angle, but she does look definitely. She's cute. Although short is a minus in my opinion. Let's see. Hornatius says Jay Brown is so meh. I'm glad you got my back on this, Casey. With Jill. She's really hot. She's not in Jill's territory, but I've got to think for short blondes with booty. Papa Bear says, what, baby? My man, right there. Hornacia says the drain has devolved into Jay basically reading the bunker on YouTube. I mean, there's no doubt she's hot. I mean, I don't think anybody here's arguing that. She's definitely she's solid. Yeah. But I mean, I'm saying compared to Jill Arrington, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I personally think that Jill Arrington's way hotter. And then you got Bonnie Bernstein. That may not be the greatest picture of her. I don't know. But Jill Arrington, I mean, basically, here's the deal. So, Jill Arrington's the hottest, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Whew. Just saying that. Corny says wide waist too. Are you talking about the Jen Brown girl? You think she has a wide waist? If that is not a wide waist. Sorry. I mean, that's like I don't wide maybe compared to that baby. Call Me Biscuit says drain is think of girl and look up photos. Dude, I even posted a picture of this girl I coveted in 8th grade not too long ago. So you're about right on that. Oh my God. I forgot I posted a picture. Actually, I did it under the guise of this girl looked like Boy George, but it was actually a girl I coveted in 8th grade. Posted a picture of her like months ago. It's all good. Who cares? Let's see. Corny Mofo says, wide, not fat stomach. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's definitely not fat. That girl's very thin. They're all very thin. But Jill Arrington's, she deserves to have this. Let's see what we got here. I got a text from administrative assistant that says wrap it up. Okay. Better wrap it up. To be fair, let's see. It's 11:18 in the Central Time Zone, 12:18 in the Eastern Time Zone. We have been on the air for 3 hours and 50 minutes, almost 4. Hornet. What? Yeah, she really wants me to wrap it up. She's probably that. Casey, I'm tempted to listen to Casey on this. He says Jen and Jill so unreal. I mean, Jill's the hottest. There's no doubt about it. But you could can you make an argument for Bonnie or Jen Brown for next? You know, I think you can make arguments for either one. They're both lovely. They're all lovely. They're all very talented and lovely. But Bonnie Bernstein was like she was a major ESPN figure at the time. I mean, for years. And also, I want to say that the last thing I'll say on here is, so I had a thing for Rachel Nichols. I thought she was really pretty. This is when Cam was going through when he was going from Auburn to the NFL. So this would be 2011, I guess, 2011 Combine. I thought Rachel Nichols was really hot. And I met Rachel Nichols at the 2011 Combine. Guys, very disappointing. I mean, she's very talented. She's a better reporter than I'll ever be. No doubt about it. She made more money than I'll ever make. But she's not even close to these girls. Not even close. I was like, oh my God, is that Rachel Nichols? Like, really?
Hey, buddy.
Uh-oh, administrative assistant is actually up here in person now. What's going on?
Wrap it up.
Why do you think that? This is the only thing that matters to you is how much of this bottle is gone?
Yeah, I don't care if you talk all night.
We were talking. Hey, you come over, stand over here just so you can see these pictures. All right. So this is girl 1.
Yes.
Yes, Jill Arrington. She's hot as shit. Would you agree? She's really hot. Okay. Is this girl hotter or not hotter? Not hotter, probably. And then how about this girl? Yeah, I think so too. Administrative assistant think Jill Arrington's number 1.
Probably because
Really?
the other one's got a prop on her hip.
She says Jen Brown has a prop on her hip.
So he's like, hey, that baby's cute. Hand it to me.
So therefore, she's not as hot. That's funny. Let's see. Canoe Man says Tony Kornheiser, who's outstanding, really, really good at what he does. Story about the first time he and Rachel Nichols, when she was an intern at the Washington Post, is humorous. I wish I knew that story. I would be interested in hearing that story. I'll have to look that up, I guess. Wait, there's somebody who thinks that Jill Arrington's hips are wide? Come on, guys. Seriously, she's really, really thin. Believe me. Call Me Biscuit says, Jay has no idea he is taking a field sobriety test right now. Oh, boy. Leif, see. Papa Bear says, Jen's legs. Wow. See, well, I mean, she's really cute, yeah. But what about Bonnie's legs? Look at the definition. She's cute. All these girls are really cute. So we'll just leave it at that. Administrative assistant, I think, wants me to get off the show. Wants me to get off the air. Is that fair? We say, hold on. Now, it's about that time to go forth. The rhythm and the rhyme. You know that one? All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. I mean, we've been going almost 4 hours, so, I mean, come on. What's the deal? I'm just having fun.
Don't try to act like I'm some wet blanket. You've been on there a
All
while.
right, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. We're going to say adios to Jill. She really is. She's doing a great job. You can follow her on the internet, on the Twitter, too. Basically, all she does is post pictures of her daughter, who's like 15 or 16, which is not really my thing. But, you know, you're just waiting for that one time when she maybe posts something of herself. No, the cat says, feel the vibration, brush. You know what I'm talking about, bro. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. I do want to give a shout out to all of our super chatters. And there are a bunch of them tonight. We had a bunch. I mean, so many. This is ridiculous. Hornatius super chatted us like 6 or 7 times. Thank you very much, sir. Bob Maplethorpe, Bob himself, who called in earlier. Ryan D. War Eagles 02. You can check him out on the bunker as War Eagles 02. Also, Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. Thank you very much for that, sir. Stephen P. with a big, massive super chat earlier. Thank you very much for that, sir. D. Lucky had several. There's Bob Maplethorpe with another one. Web W. Thank you very much for that, sir. Riley B. Canoe Man, who's always here for us. Matt N., who's pretty much here for us every single time. Stu Pup, always here. D. Lucky again. Call Me Biscuit, my man. KCC had a couple there late as he was figuring out how to do that. Corny Mofo, appreciate you, bro. And Leif B from Owensboro, Kentucky. Appreciate all of the super chatters and all of you guys that were part of the chat, part of the show, part of the website, auburnsports.com. If you're not there, you need to be. It's where I am. It's where Jeffrey Lee is. It's where Brian Matthews is. It's where Nate King is. It's a good place to hang out. And basically, everybody who calls into our shows from auburnsports.com. So if you're like, hey, man, that guy's kind of interesting, that guy's cool, they're at auburnsports.com. For reals. All right, guys. I guess we'll wrap it up there. Appreciate y'all being part of the show. I love doing this for you guys on Saturday night. I love you guys being here. I think it's a lot of fun. And I know you guys feel the same way. Probably. At least in my head, you guys do. Anyway, we'll see you guys again next week. And I'll see you on the bunker like a million times between now and then. But until we see you next week, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. See you.